Welcome in, Dusty Litster and Jeff Hansen with you. It's Week 7 here in the state of Utah in high school football season. Welcome into KSL Sports Rewind's Friday Night Redzone, presented by Heidemann & Associates. Go to utah.law to find the law office nearest you. Get a free consultation. It's a flat fee law firm. That includes living will and trusts. Justin gives you your price. That's what you're going to pay. And he'll make all the adjustments you need to make and all the things you need to do. All one price. Go to utah.law, find the law office nearest you. We want to thank our friends at Igloo Outfitters, getting right up to it. iglooOutfitters.com, IGLU Outfitters.com, and also Advanced Windows at $2,000 off. 10 windows, our fall special. 0% financing for 6 months. I think I got them all. Oh, and Odeon. Go support our friends at Odeon, the artist formerly known as Modern Missionary.
Not
Find
anymore.
Locations. Yeah.
Odeon.
Odeon.
Because
Odeon
what
outfitting.
screams menswear more than Odeon?
I'll tell you, it's a manly sound, right? Odeon.
It is. It is. At first, I didn't get it. I'll be honest. I didn't understand it. I didn't know where we were going with it. But it's fantastic.
Yeah,
I get it now.
We want to thank all of you for joining us here on Week 7. Jeff got an interesting week this week. Let's go through it real fast. Game of the night, Skyridge and Lehigh. Only the second meeting in their history.
How weird. How weird that two schools right across the street from each other don't play. It almost feels like rivals, like rivals that are 40 miles apart from one another should play every year.
Should play every year.
I mean, it just sort of feels like that. And these rivals right across the street from each other, second time ever.
But I think I heard a coach give a quote of, well, things keep changing. It's always going to change, so we'll just enjoy this while it lasts.
Change is the only thing we really know.
We'll enjoy this while it lasts, but it's not forever.
Something about not perm. I don't know. It's a big game.
The only meeting between Lehigh and Skyridge is 2018, the 5A state championship that went the way of Cam Cooper and Ed Larson over Coach Lehman's Falcons.
Yeah, it could be a different story tonight. I mean, this Skyridge
There's
team,
hopefully no penalties at the coin toss.
Well,
let's just hope that doesn't happen tonight.
That is a good point.
Does that happen in that championship
There's
game?
a lot of bad blood. I mean, these guys, they're both Lehigh schools. They're
Reigning
both
state
right
champions.
there, both state champions. This is a big game. I mean, Skyridge, we're not condoning betting lines here, but Skyridge would probably be, in my opinion, 10-point favorite. I mean, I think they're the favorite coming into this game for sure. But Lehigh, man, this is an Ed Larson special type of a game. When Lehigh's counted out, that's when Lehigh tends to play their best.
Yeah, it certainly is. And so we're very excited to see what's going to happen in that one. Our game of the week tonight is the Battle of Copper Hills. Yeah, not Copper Hills High School, but Bingham. The original football field was up in the Copper Hills, taking on Harriman, who is now the home of all the employees of those working in the Copper Hills.
I got a bone to pick with the voters of the top 25 poll, and it has to do with Bingham.
Okay.
I think Bingham's great.
That they're still in?
They're maybe from a talent standpoint, sure. I just don't know how you put a 2-4 team in the top 25.
Yeah, I think there's some issues. Just got a big run for Harriman going in the all reds.
They look good and all red. We haven't seen that look.
We haven't seen that look.
And it's a good look for Harriman.
I guess you turn over a new leaf. Dustin Pierce saying, hey, we're going to go a little more open offense.
Yeah.
I am super excited to be able to have long form. I guess it's the second time we've seen Harriman on Rewind, but just more film of us being able to see Ephraim Asiata.
Yeah, special player. Obviously, his story, it's well documented, his comeback. He's the comeback player of the year already. Yep. No question.
He's like the Moore
about
Hamlin of Utah high school football.
Yeah, he absolutely is. And he's played really, really well. Just went on an official visit to USC 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, so Ephraim Asiata, big time.
We're going to see if that Bingham defense can get the ball for their offense. They just got the sack there on Ta'a. And then American Fork and Lone Peak. What are we going to learn about Lone Peak tonight? I mean, you get a chance to see all the games we've got going on. Plus, we've got a special one you see in the top left corner. I'm excited for this one to talk about a certain player. But American Fork and Lone Peak has not looked good thus far. No, Isaac Staley hasn't had a chance to kind of get going. We'll see if it gets going. Their defense has been good, but this American Fork team, number 2.
They did it. They did
number
it.
2.
Kudos to the voters there, but
didn't-
on the other side.
And if you watched Rewind, I was emphatic that I thought they were second team,
And they
although I didn't have them ranked second in my poll.
Oh, my gosh. That is hypocrisy at its finest.
It wasn't.
Right there.
I said that Skyridge hasn't lost. I can't move them. They very may well be the second best team in the state.
American Fork is the second best team in the state. And like Bingham, somehow we still have a ranked Lone Peak team despite being 2-4. I get it from a talent standpoint, blah, blah, blah. It all makes sense. But at some point, you got to earn a ranking, and 2-4 is not going to get it done.
Well, as you do the ranking every week, it's like, well, I really think that they're not one of the top 25 teams in the state.
Right. And at
that's
some
kind of the hard
point,
part.
hopefully, if they lose tonight and it's 2-5,
it's Tennessee and Florida.
We can't do this again. We can't at 2-5. There's no chance they finish above 500.
It's Tennessee and Florida. Florida beat Tennessee, and they're ranked behind them by 4 slots.
I get it.
I don't get that one, but I understand what you're saying. I don't think we have anybody that lost to each other, that lost head-to-head, and they're ahead of the other team.
Right.
I think that's at least we have that part clean.
Yeah.
We'll go a couple more games, and we'll take you into our first game of the night. There's so many interesting. East and Brighton. It is the Brandon Maddich Bowl.
I'm excited for this game. This is the first, not the first, but maybe the biggest test that Jack Johnson has had from a defensive standpoint. And I'm excited that people get to see him play. Now he has that big stage tonight. He's a special quarterback, one of the best in the state of Utah.
Well, in fact, let's go down. I think, are they punting? Yeah, they're punting. Okay, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't Brighton on offense. They held East on their first drive, nearly blocked the punt. So we'll have that first Brighton drive. They're going to start in the plus side of the field on their first drive. So we'll get to that one momentarily because that region is stacked tonight. Now, that region is just stacked in general for 5A. Alta at Olympus. First of all, they continue to run the 2-quarterback thing at Alta. We saw that the last 2 weeks as they've gone between Matt McKay and Tui Mailotu, try to decide who's going to be the starting quarterback there. And Olympus, who all they do is play close games. Doesn't matter who they play. Luke Bryant, he thinks Friday nights look better under neon or stadium lights, and he shows out every Friday night.
Special player, and he's doing really good things with that Olympus team that I still keep going back to the preseason, how much uncertainty there was at Olympus. For them to respond and play the way they have all year long, kudos to that coaching staff and to all of those players.
Yeah, we talk about culture a lot. That's when you know you have a culture. Is that the coach goes late, has an opportunity he's going to go take, and you have all this stuff, but that they still stay there.
They had 10, 12 guys quit, walk out during camp. Guys that were going to be in the starting lineup, and they still have managed to do what they're doing. It's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. We head south for another one more game that will go in. Orem and Maple Mountain. Banks Jackson's been really, really good. Orem has gone up and down. We'll see what Engelman can do. Quick thought, we're going to go out to our first game.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Engelman against a tough Maple Mountain team. Banks Jackson's fun. See him against a good defense.
Well, let's go Bingham Harriman. Join Dane Stewart and Moose Bingham.
Bingham, the Mustangs 1-13 against Bingham all time. As Ty looking, has a man wide open over the middle. That caught it into the end zone. Touchdown, Harriman.
Sanisi Fafita, pound your chest because, my goodness, that was a great play drawn up. That was a lot of confusion for Bingham and a great touchdown strike from our boy Freddie Ty.
Fafita is one of the leading rushers for this Harriman side, but that time it's through the air that the Mustangs able to strike and get on the board.
Well, wide open. I mean, Bingham has had defensive problems all season long, and there you go. You see it on the first drive of the game, and Harriman takes advantage.
The quote, one of my favorite shows, the McAfee show.
Oh, boy.
Now that you say in the running game, it's a big gaping hole. That was a big gaping seam.
Yeah.
Is what that was. That was wide open. All right, let's take you out to East and Brighton. Brighton has the football after that punt. Jack Johnson just got sacked by this East defense. One thing we know, this East defense, they have not given up. I mean, these games have been closer in the region play.
Yeah.
We saw the 10-7 win against Alta. I mean, this has not just been getting run all over the pond. Actually, let's go to Lone Peak instead. So going to come out with the offense of Lone Peak, Isaac Staley and crew. We'll get you out to Brighton running east and west. Brighton just punted the football. So let's go into Lone Peak.
Daly starting hitting his stride as of last week a little bit. On this one, they give the pitch to Robinson, his most explosive receiver, an American fork all over it on the outside. Cohen Evans.
Yes, they are. You mentioned it pregame, JT. Before we came on the air, American fork in the all-wide. It's almost a stormtrooper look there. And I tell you what, that was a terrifying defensive effort by the Cavemen. And again, anchored. Hard to say that there's a single group that really anchors it, but it's hard to ignore the work that the defensive line for the Cavemen puts in.
Segura led the team in tackles last week, got the stop there. Brings up 2nd and 11 from the 15. Waki Fuyulongi and Blake Jensen each with 3 sacks on the season. Mentioned that ruckus crowd. Press box already beginning to shake a little bit, if that's any sign or indication. And, of course, Lone Peak's the one on offense, so it should be in for an interesting one. Staley drops back with time. High throw. Misses Robinson that time. Looks like Staley still trying to settle in here early.
A lot of white jerseys around what looked like the intended receiver there, Trey Robinson. And good on Staley to be looking for one of his more reliable wide receivers there early on in the ball game. just needs to settle down, set up a little bit more, deliver the football. Obviously, a lot of white jerseys around there too as well, JT. He's going to really need to focus in on trying to go through his progressions tonight.
The junior Staley, the backup to start the season. The injury to Blake forced him in the starting lineup. He faces third and long over the middle of the field. It's knocked down. Dax Watts knocks it down.
Yeah, Dax Watts has been phenomenal from the linebacker position all year long. You see him getting a paw on that one, not able to get the full interception.
American Fork defense, one of the biggest things that Lone Peaks have to deal with tonight is that defense.
That defense is so tough. I mean, every single week. We haven't talked about Davis Andrews really at all on the defensive side of the ball making plays because he's just shadowed guys.
How about Bingham goes a little trickeration. Sudbury finds his man, and it's going to be a Bingham touchdown. So they get the stop. Oh, pardon me. Harriman scores on their first drive. Bingham comes right back with a little trickeration, and I joked because they're on their fourth-string quarterback at Bingham. Brutal. And I joked and said, the last thing you got to do is turn to Sudbury to be the quarterback. I feel pretty good at the moment.
There they go. That's what they're going to have to do. I mean, if the defense is playing like they did on that first drive, they're going to have to find some big plays to keep this one close. Great response by Bingham.
So we're going to go from there to Lone Peak and American Fork. We're showing you a punt. It's going to be one of two things.
Settle things down.
Cade Wilkinson waits at the 50 for the upcoming punt. This is the Knights team that began the high school football season in a Thursday night kickoff against Bingham. They won that one 27-7. Things haven't gone their way since. Snap over the head. Are they going to get it away? They won't. And it'll be a touchdown. Just like that, American Fork with the early success and score.
For American Fork, what a great start for the special teams unit. Able to fall on top of the football, get the touchdown. If you're a Lone Peak Knight, it's just a continuation of what was a tough start offensively. You see a mishandled snap, and at this level, I'm sure if you're sitting at home, you're screaming at the punter, just run out the back, run out the back.
Sometimes you just got to eat it.
Yeah, I mean, you heard Brian Brown talking about it there. Just eat that one, run out the back of the end zone, get on the ball, lay down, whatever you do. That brutal.
Well, let's take you quickly over Timpanogos and Mountain View. One of the battles of Orem is Timpanogos already moving the ball inside the 15-yard line. Let's get out to Alex Tumalip.
Screen out to the left. He has a block at the 10, at the 5, and he's knocked out of bounds close to the marker. He'll get to about the 2-yard line. It'll be first and goal, Timpanogos.
And another T-Wolf.
8:30 on a rolling clock here if you're just joining us. Riggs hands off, Bretzing right up the gut and scores! Touchdown!
Bretzing, 2 yards up the middle.
Hey, it's only 8:24, Alex. That didn't take very long, did it?
That sure didn't take very long, but a good sign if you're a Timpanogos.
So you see Timpanogos march down the field. Great opening drive from Timpanogos. This game could get out of hand pretty quickly. Let's go out to another game. First game of the first time we've seen them tonight. West at Skyline, one of the most picture-perfect, beautiful views in all of the state of Utah. Let's get out to the 2:15 interchange. Let's go see what's going on at West at Skyline.
West has got a big run inside the 15-yard line. First and 10, Panthers.
First down in the red zone.
The Panthers, they had the first. They were brought back with the flag, and then
the Eagle, 14-yard line.
The holding call meant nothing to the Panthers. They were able to get a huge gain on 3rd and 10, and so now they're set up with a 1st and 10. Ball on the 14-yard line, and Suisui and this offense knocking on the end zone as Suisui drops back to pass. The pressure's coming. Rolls out to his left. Jumped off to Walker. Touchdown. Or excuse me, that's Pan. Touchdown.
Number 2, Chachi, Pan.
Suisui, deadly on the field. Able to put the moves on the loose lineman coming at him. Able to keep his eyes down the field for the touchdown. Panthers' first touchdown of the night. He makes it look easy, Alex.
Suisui and the
Isaiah loves Chachi.
Yeah, man, what a play that was from Isaiah Suisui to escape the pressure, find his guy for the touchdown.
Impressive to see. That team has started to play really well. It's interesting to see where Skyline is. It's been a down year for the Eagles, needless to say. And West playing really well. I mean, you take this back 17 years ago. We're not saying that.
Right.
And to kind of show you where things have gone with a lot of programs, there's turnover. It's just where you don't have a lot of youth coming up and all those different things. One day they'll have Riley Jensen's son playing there, Jack, but we're a long ways off. Jack's 9 years old.
We're a ways away.
Yeah. So let's take you back up to Brighton. East has got a big run, as it'll be East football, 2nd down and 9 against Brighton.
Yeah, you can see there's a rhythm there. They're coming out of that huddle with a little bit more pop there. They're pushing these Brighton guys around a little bit more. They're feeling it.
A false start on East.
It's a timeout on East.
Oh, they called East. They called timeout. You're right, they did.
They saw that clock coming down. They knew it was going to be their timeout.
We're going to take a timeout as well. 4:10 left to play here first quarter. We'll take our first break. No score, but East is driving on Game Night Live.
So timeout there. Let's take you back into Lone Peak and American Fork will go hard in, as I think, we've got a procedure penalty.
Refs are going to ref.
Refs are going to ref. I think he had some movement. Guys got set. 2nd down. It was going to be 2nd down and 6. It's now going to be 2nd down and 11.
This is an important drive after the special teams foobar on the opening drive. Lone Peak needs to recompose themselves. We've seen them do it so many times this year. They got to recompose themselves, figure out a way to get something going on offense.
Yeah. So let's take you back into this one. JT Wistersill on the call, as it's Lone Peak football, 2nd down and 12 at their own 37-yard line.
2nd and 12. He's given time. The blitz is picked up, and Robinson creates the separation and gets the yardage back and then some off the false start.
Well, I tell you what, if I'm a quarterback, I want a wide receiver like Trey Robinson. The way he runs his routes, the way he can elevate for the football, does a great job of securing the catch, getting both feet in bounds, and getting them into 3rd and average, right? 3rd and brown bear, about 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 here. And look, that's a doable thing. It's okay to be average as long as you hit your goal, which is a touchdown.
3rd and 5 from the 44 of the Knights. American Fork show pressure. They bring it. Staley finds Wild wide open in the middle of the field. Brooks Wild breaking free. Gets it across the 25 before he's dragged down. Wild gets loose at Knights Field.
Just a great call by Coach Bank and his staff as they find Wild wide open. And he's a wild animal out there in the middle of the field, JT. Hurdling and bumbling and stumbling and rushing all the way to the caveman side of the 22-yard line.
Wow,
Lone Peak, 1st down.
Yeah, wow, the versatile back, over 230 yards rushing on the season and also over 130 yards receiving. Also has 2 touchdowns through the air. Sees make his impact there. They'll go right back to him. Wild. Nice cuts. Keeps the legs churning. Gets the 1st down and then some. Brooks Wild starting to take over.
Momentum is such a major factor in these games, JT. You see it on the stage. Wild breaks the game open on a big play. Very next play, hand the ball off to him, and it's a 10-yard gain. Now all of a sudden it's the American Fork Cavemen that are feeling the pressure, and it's all Knights here in this 2nd series.
Misiona Patongi also in that time doing a good job getting push up front for Lone Peak. 1st and 10 from the 14. They give it on the ground. It's another strong gain for Gabriel Tom, now getting the carry.
What a 1-2 combination there for Lone Peak as you see Tom take the inside handoff and cut back against the grain. You've got Lone Peak here at 1st and goal now, and they are G2G. JT, they're good to go right now if you're a Lone Peak Knights fan.
Yeah, ball officially on the 3 now. Lone Peak, a really successful drive. And what a response, driving down the field after turning it over in their own end zone on the punt. Wild the lone back. Robinson in single coverage at the top of your screen. Staley in the gun. Gives to Wild. Wild is met. Although he kept the legs moving, he'll be stopped short at the 1.
You see he gets his legs wrapped up a little bit there, so not able to drive the pile like he was last time. But you like the early play call on 1st and goal from Lone Peak. They're just inches away
Rarely
from the goal.
Ty going to try to push ahead. Boy, look at how stout that is. But Harriman does get it in. Touchdown Mustangs.
There's a little pepper, there's a little salt, but no amount of seasoning was going to stop the Ty from getting in the end zone.
Some Thai cooking there. Hey.
All sorts of seasoning and delightful food
That's
happening
right.
on the field. The only thing that would make this night better is if I had a cookie. What cookie company is going to come through tonight?
That's a free call out. You'll get a free shout out. Someone rush us some cookies atop the press box.
Hard in for that touchdown there. Let's go quickly back to Lone Peak at the 1 yard line.
Have the Knights in position to score. Staley on the sneak. And the Knights waiting for a signal. Taking a long time. I mean, from our angle, looked like a score, but we're still waiting at the moment to see if Staley crossed the plane, and he did! Lone Peak crosses the goal line for the score.
What a great response by the Lone Peak Knights. You see Staley digs down deep, sneaks it across the goal line, stays behind that powerful offensive line. And even more powerful was that response in that drive from Lone Peak as they're about to even the score pending the...
Lone Peak ties up the game, 7-7. It's a nice bush push to get Isaac Staley in the end zone. How about this? Ready for a fun fact?
I'm ready.
First time in 2 full games, Lone Peak scored an offensive touchdown.
Yeah, and they needed it. The way that game started, they needed a response on offense. Good resolve there from Lone Peak.
Let's jump into Timpanogos and Mountain View. 2nd down and 5 at the 20-yard line going in for the Timberwolves.
And he gets it up the middle. He's got another hole. He'll be close to the first down. We'll see where they mark him. One official lined him at the first down marker. The other one lined him up at the short of the marker, and it's going to be short by about a yard. So Jaden Robinson will come in on 3rd down and less than a foot. And now Riggs will audibilize to the sideline. 3rd down and less than a yard now. They motion out of that shotgun, and now Riggs goes and motions Robinson to the left. Riggs, high snap, hands to Robinson, big hole up the middle, and he is going to be brought down close to the end zone of the 1 yard line. They'll mark him down to the 2.
Down to the 2 yard line.
High snap turns into high rewards.
12 yard gain. Good for another. T-Wolf.
And back they go to the pistol once more. Graff lines up on the left. Bretson gets it again. And he's in. Touchdown.
Touchdown. T-Wolf.
2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
And that's Easton Bretsing's 2nd touchdown of the night. And his 2nd touchdown in less than 9 minutes.
Parker Harvey to attempt the P.
And Parker Harvey will come on.
As you see, Bryson gets in the end zone, and Timpanogos up 2 scores. Let's take you back to Bingham and Harriman. Dane Stewart, Moose Bingham. After the Harriman touchdown, here's the ensuing kickoff.
At this point, they're like, we got to find any possible way to get this ball over the end zone.
This kick, short, returnable, taken from the 5. Looking up that left side, this is Chase Swenson, gets a lane. Swenson with a big return across midfield, and it's Swenson in the clear. The 20, 10, 5, touchdown. Bingham with another immediate answer.
Chase Swenson says we don't need an offense. I don't want to see Ephraim Asiata on the field as much as anyone else. Way to go. That whole thing was set up by the kicker. The kicker got under the ball. You see that fast rotation. Doesn't get in the end zone. First kick not to go in the end zone. And Bingham's return team wasn't just a special team. It was special tonight. I love to see that. But now Bingham has to go for 2 because they did the
You don't have to. It's the first quarter.
Oh, you have to because you pulled that dumb trickeration.
You don't have to.
Oh.
It's the first quarter. Come on, Moose.
You have to. You have to atone for the mistake of not using the kicker.
Look,
what are they going to do?
Contrary to Dusty's position, you don't have to chase points in the first.
Oh, what are they doing though, Dan?
They're going for 2.
Okay.
But you don't have to. You do have a choice. Sudbury trying to get around, and he doesn't get a penalty flag in on the play. Harriman did make the stop. Asiata in on it, but we got to sort out the hanky here first.
You
don't have to
chase points that early. That will make sure my stance is understood.
I'm with Moose. You go.
Later. If you kick the extra point now, it's still one
What difference does it make being down 1 or 2?
There is a major difference because they go score now. Now you're down multiple scores. If you kick the extra point, you still keep it a 1-score game at 21-13.
They go down and they score. Then they kick the point. You're still only down 8. Still the same scenario.
But you aren't now. So it is 14-12 there after the 2 missed 2-point conversions. As West are going to go right down the field and find a man for a touchdown. And now the West Panthers up 13-0. with the point after coming up for West early in the first quarter against Skyline.
Shui's figured it out in the last couple of weeks. He has played so much better recently, and that West offense is humming.
Hey, let's take you. Talk about offense is humming. Canyon View and Manti. Both these teams have been scoring points in bunches. Let's go out to Manti, where Canyon View is trailing 14-0, 5:25 left in the first quarter. The Falcons are inside the 20-yard line at the 15. Let's join Greg Sterner and crew.
An interesting Barclay Mechanical scoreboard check. Barclay Mechanical for welding and fabrication. Click barclaymechanical.com. At the end of the first quarter, North Sanpete 3, Juab 0.
That's an interesting one, and that is a rivalry in any sport because of how close those teams have been to each other, those two schools.
Playing up in Nephi, and North Sanpete with a lead at the end of one. Here we go, Canyon View. We'll pass out to the right side. That's going to be complete down to the 10, tackled immediately. About a 5-yard gain there. Good tackle by Stone Mortensen immediately when the pass was complete. Was that Asher Groft who caught that one?
Down by Jaden Barton.
Oh, was that and Jaden Barton?
Jaden Barton. Jaden is number 6. Stone is number 5. They've got a similar build, so when you get a certain angle on those jerseys, you can mix those up. As Canyon has 3rd down and 4, but they also were knocking at the door, and it's definitely 4th down territory. I'm trying to remember if last year they lined up to kick any field goals too. I think they have. Do they have a kicking game? We'll see.
Yeah. So here we go, 3rd and 4, 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Jensen's going to throw it across the middle. That's too tall, incomplete. 4th down for the Falcons.
Hunter Stevens on the coverage for Manti there. As you get this close to the end zone, it makes it a tough one for those quick passes to when you have receivers cutting across the middle. Hunter Stevens being able to stick with him, make it tough to make that catch.
And right when we said North Sanpete was up 3-0, Juab takes it in for a touchdown. So that was short-lived. Here we go, 4th down here. Jackson Jensen for Canyon View. Looks to pass. Now he's going to be brought down in the backfield. Sacked by Lincoln Alder. Another sack. Turns the ball back over to the Templars.
That does 2 amazing things as Lincoln Alder gets his 2nd sack. Number 1 is shut down that drive with 0 points for Canyon View. Number 2, he actually gained about 10 yards for his offense so that they're not backed up behind the 20. Excellent,
so
excellent
Mac Olson,
job.
if you watch that replay, Mac Olson was the first one. That other defensive end was the first one to get a big paw on Jackson Jensen, and then Lincoln Alder came from the other side. Defensive end stayed with the play, brought him down, clear out at the 23-yard line. They were at the 10, so that was a 13-yard loss. Templars will take over at the 23.
Manti's defense up for the challenge today.
You said it, Russ. Empty backfield for Mason Starkweather now. 3 to the right, 2 to the left. Looks to pass. Has time now. Now that pocket's going to break down, and I think he might have fumbled. They're going to say he did, and Canyon View came down with it. First big turnover of the day for the Templars.
Yeah, that's a tough one for the Templars as the ball was swatted out as he was being sacked. You know, when we see a lot of turnovers this year for Manti, a few of them, one of the things is I don't know that there's been that many in this kind of field position that puts the defense up against the backs, back of the end zone. So Manti's defense back out on the field. Time to step it up again to see what they can do.
So first play there. Fumble and gives the ball back to Canyon View at the 15-yard line, 1st and 10. 3:44 left here in the first quarter. Hands-off goes to Groff. This time he has some room. His best run of the night. Down near the sticks. We'll see where they mark it.
Dallin Sweat on the tackle as there's a flag that came in at the end of that play. We'll see. It's lining up somewhat with what I would expect on a face mask maybe. If it's against the Templars, it's going to be half the distance to the goal. If it's not, it's going to march off 5 or 10 yards against Canyon View. Let's see what the call is from the white hat. It is a face mask against Manti on that tackle.
So that will be a 1st down.
Face mask on the defense.
For Canyon View. Bring it down inside the 5. They're going to mark it at the 3-yard line. So 1st and goal from the 3. That run by Asher Groff.
4-yard line.
14-0 Templars with the lead, but Canyon View on the doorstep. Jackson Jensen, Groft again, goes to the right side. That time he's going to be brought down in the backfield. It almost looked like he just tripped.
Well, and he had a blitz coming on him as another flag comes very late. There is some extracurricular going on. I'm expecting 15 yards to be marked off against Canyon View, possibly if there's anything against Manti.
Let's see this replay here. So Groft is going that way, and you see Kellen Layton going in to hit him, and he just goes down. And then what's the – yeah, you're going to have a unsportsmanlike against Canyon View. Man, that's a killer. Pushes him all the way back to the 18-yard line.
And loss of down. That was after the play.
Goal. Yeah.
So we'll get out of this one. Is a 15-yard penalty going to back up Canyon View? 2:42 left in the first quarter. Let's go back to Brighton and East. As it's Brighton football at the East 41-yard line.
Nice catch and run by Bo LaFleur. Johnson in the pocket's going to take a shot. Almost intercepted, but caught!
Oh, no.
Into the end zone!
No way.
41 yards for the touchdown!
Nash Matheson on the catch there, JJ. And I'll tell you what, it's not Christmas, but he got an early gift because that thing was an absolute pick. And it wasn't even just a pick. It was a tip ball right into his hands. Johnson's going to thank the DB later for dropping that one.
Oh,
wow. He took so much off of it, it landed square in his hands. And then there you go. He goes the rest of the way. Nash Matheson touchdown. And that is a huge swing for Brighton.
The Bengals with a 6-0 lead, and they will attempt an extra point for the 7-0 lead.
Looky, tip drill, touchdown. East thought they had a pick six. It turns into 6 points for the Bengals.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to be lucky and good, and that's what Brighton is. But,
unlucky for Jeff, he's both.
Well, I'm okay.
Or Acuna's both. Let's put it that way. He's gotten really lucky.
It's 40-49.
He's gotten really lucky so often. Whoa, how about that? A little lightning bolt before we go to break. We'll have one more touchdown before we head in as there's penalties on this play. We'll see if it's defensive penalties or not, as Timpanogos will be first and goal inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, this game is about to get out of hand.
Yeah.
I mean, we're right there, right?
Yep. Slim's out the door and Nunn's packing his bags.
Yeah.
We'll show the touchdown and we'll go to break. We're early on the break.
As the Timberwolves threaten once more. Redsing's already got 2 touchdowns in the quarter. They'll give it to him again, and he's got maybe a third, or does he? No, he does not. I thought he was over the line, but from where our vantage point was, he is short by about a half a yard.
I like these good goal line stops by Mountain View. They've been able to do it twice already tonight. Unfortunately, it comes in the favor of Timpanogos.
Riggs this time throws the fade, and another flag comes down as Gabe Graff was over there, and a lot of shirt grabbing on that side. And that should be first and goal at about the 1-yard line off the pass interference.
Pass interference against Mountain View.
Second one they have committed on this drive.
Replay, second down.
So first and goal, or rather it's now second and goal. Remember, I correct myself because the pass interference does not result in a first down like it does in college. Doesn't matter though, because Easton Bretsing this time is in the end zone for the score.
Bretsing once again.
And that's 3 in the first quarter for Easton Bretsing.
So how about that? Bretsing gets in for the 3rd time in the quarter. Yeah. It's all Timpanogos.
It is all Timpanogos. PAT pending here, but 20-0 in the first quarter, 3 touchdowns. I mean, it's a heck of a quarter. That's a heck of a game. That's a heck of a quarter.
Yeah. Heck of a game. Already has the hat trick, setting us into our first break. We'll take our first break. You're watching and listening to KSL Sports Rewind's Friday Night Red Zone on KSLSports.com, the KSL Plus app, and on 97.5 DKSL Sports Zone.
So,
Bruins 0.
20-0. Timpanogos leads now, and Ty, a very interesting first quarter because I think this.
I guess when you have the ground game going, you can see there not a lot going for American Fork in the early secondary.
Lone Peak with a nice response that time after being pushed around by the interior of the Caveman front on the first carry. And you mentioned once Eardley gets going, it really allows Story to operate. Story in last week's game against Lehigh, 349 yards, 3 touchdowns, 19 for 21 passing.
I believe the kids call that light work, JT. I'll have to double check with you as you're a little bit younger than I am. But we've really seen Story emerge as one of the better quarterbacks in the state. Started off at Roy. We had the privilege to call that game. Now on our third, Dylan Story experience here with the Cavemen.
Story facing 2nd and 9. Eardley gets it again. And another gap created by American Fork's offensive line.
Yeah, there's a massive hole for Eardley there, and just a little bit off of where he's normally aiming there. It took him just a second to recognize and read it. Otherwise, he might have broken that one for even more, JT.
AF back to the line quickly. It's a crowded box of Knights, but it hasn't been a problem for the Cavemen early. They try to get the Knights to jump off sides. Good job that time. Staying steady by Lone Peak. 3rd and 3. Eardley gets it again. Eardley fighting. And it's going to be close. Depends on the spot.
It's going to be very, very close, but it does look like he got it, JT. That extra effort driving the defenders gets him the first down, and even more so keeps this drive going for American Fork. Seeing Bob Mulatalo run off the field. Good to see him back in there on that play, JT. The phenomenal sophomore, been injured a little bit this year. Trying to provide them with a little spark.
So sensational with 3 sacks in the first game of the season against Bingham, one of the top 100 players in the class of 2026. Story wants it all, loads up, looks deep, and it's brought in. American Fork with the explosive play, Davis Andrews.
No surprise there, as there's number 5 in the pattern for American Fork. Pops up with the first down sign. Another no-doubter for Davis. And American Fork is cooking inside the 20-yard line.
The first pass of the game for Story, an immense success. All tied at 7 with under 4 to go here. 1st and 10 from the 18. Story keeps it, looks, and a one-handed grab made, and staying on his feet, going towards the end zone. Dragged out of bounds just short is Josh Anderson.
Welcome back to KSL Sports Rewind Red Zone. I'm Kenzie Valentine giving the scoreboard updates of the night, starting with a huge game, Skyridge at Lehigh. They are tied 7-7 with 5 minutes left in the first. Jackson Stevens had a 22-yard touchdown pass to tie the game. Alta is up 7-0 on Olympus with 5 minutes left in the first. Springville at Wasatch. Wasatch is up 6-0 and 2 field goals, one of them being a 43-yard field goal by Ashton Southam. Lastly, Skyview at Logan. Skyview's up 14-6 with 5 minutes left in the first. Let's go to American Fork at Lone Peak.
Game of the season against Bingham, one of the top 100 players in the class of 2026. Story wants it all, loads up, looks deep, and it's brought in. American Fork with the explosive play, Davis Andrews.
No surprise there, as there's number 5 in the pattern for American Fork. Pops up with the first down sign. Another no-doubter for Davis. And American Fork is cooking inside the 20-yard line.
The first pass of the game for Story, an immense success. All tied at 7 with under 4 to go here. 1st and 10 from the 18. Story keeps it, looks, and a one-handed grab made, and staying on his feet, going towards the end zone. Dragged out of bounds just short is Josh Anderson.
Crosby's the thrower. He's got that arm. And I'll tell you what, I mean, one of the better athletes on the field is McCormick, so you keep him out there, he's your slot guy now. Yeah. It's kind of an interesting change.
McCormick has shown off his arm in the past. He has some big pass plays, but Crosby's got a little more zip. 6:27, second quarter. It's working so far. McCormick.
My goodness.
Met in the backfield. Adamson eats him alive.
Easton Adamson, you know the one guy you're supposed to block. You know the one guy who's going to eat up the entire backfield. Easton Adamson, look at him break through there.
Fanua had no chance.
It was not, that O-line is not doing their running backs any favors, but I'll tell you, I don't know how Adamson is that far into the backfield that quickly.
It's almost like he knew the play. He exploded like a rocket into the
This is
backfield.
the first half. He's got a sack and he's got 3 tackles for losses.
Wow.
This is a pretty. You and I were wondering where those stats were all coming from. He had 8 sacks last week. It's starting to show up.
We're seeing it now. He is a problem. Crosby's going to hand it off. Fanua, he's eating up again. And this time it's Miles Morgan who leads the team in tackles.
Yeah, Miles Morgan and Dylan
swallows
Thomas.
him right up and pushes him back.
So what happened here was you got the defensive lineman engaged with his offensive lineman. Linebacker is totally freed up. Nobody's blocking that second level. And Fanua was upset. You saw him after the play. He took his helmet off, came to the sideline, was not happy.
I can see why. He got hit hard. So Odekolo will punt for East. They had some momentum going there with that pass play, but Brighton steals it right back. Fair catch made on the punt. And Brighton will start this next drive at their own 11-yard line.
Yeah, Jerry, I think you nailed it, too, when you talked about the momentum thing. Why is it? It seems like every 3 plays the momentum shifts. It's like, oh, no, these guys have it. I can't believe it. No, but it's interesting to see how quickly it's been turning around. Get a big play from East. The defense from Brighton responds, and vice versa. Turnover inside the 10-yard line. You stuff them. You end up stuffing Brighton if you're the East defense. Been a massive move on this in this game with momentum. Is that one big play, and there's that tipped ball that ends up being a touchdown. We'll see if Brighton can capture a little bit more of that momentum here.
Jack Johnson with trips to his right. He's going to hand it off. LaFleur's in. So Brighton continues to rotate their running back.
Yeah, you go trips right, and then you hand the ball off the other direction. You obviously have the guys on the other side of the left side of the line have one job, and that is to kind of create a little bit of a lane, and maybe even if there's that second level, because everybody's going to be focusing their defensive backs there on that right side where the trips are.
Same formation. 2nd and 10. Oh, it's intercepted. Johnson's pass is intercepted. The receiver stopped. It looked like he thought he was going to go in.
John Amone comes in. He has no problem accepting that gift. One to another. I mean, the interception was thrown squarely to him. When you watch on the replay here, he sees his guy but throws it, absolutely misses everything. John Amone right there going, okay, I'll take it. It just landed right in his lap. Massive defensive stop by Brighton. Immediately answered with an interception. There's that momentum swing we were just talking about.
Matheson ran a hook, and it looked like he was expecting him to drift to the middle, and it wasn't there. Right into the hands of John Amone. So we talk about momentum. East is back. Handoff up the middle to the left.
So effective.
Fanua.
So effective on that handoff. You take 2 or 3 steps. It's kind of an advanced read on that, too, because he takes a couple of steps down that line of scrimmage and almost a half a step forward and still hands the ball off. It's just, it's an interesting way of being able to run kind of that RPO. It's almost like this handoff option. It's very, very interesting. And, man, they pump it. It was 9 yards on one play.
Crosby under center. Fanua again. Can't break the tackle, but he does push forward.
Yeah, it takes advantage. Takes advantage of really that movement up at the front of the line. When the defense has a couple of you don't have time to shift if you're on defense here, Jared. You got to get set. You can't keep shifting your guys around. This is going to move quickly. The guy right in front of you is likely going to be the one that hits you. But if you're moving around, you're going to get blown out even easier.
Crosby going to keep it himself. Miller's there to get him again.
Blunt play. He turned around and didn't know where his back was, or the back didn't know which direction he was going. Wasn't a planned keeper, but ended up doing it and got a yard or so. But yeah, he turned around and that was a miscommunication.
2nd and goal from the 6-yard line. Crosby, hands off, swallowed up by that Brighton defense.
You know, it's interesting play to play, Jer, who ends up winning those battles. So you have Ethan Adamson, who's gotten his now 3rd tackle for loss this evening on top of the sack that he had, but he broke through that line first. It's interesting to see which plays East gets to push on and which ones they don't, because sometimes Brighton walks right through that line, and other times it looks like the momentum is all being pushed toward Brighton from East. So interesting to see how this thing's going to happen.
3rd and goal from the 6. Crosby, handoff. Up the middle. It's close. He's short. They call him just short.
He reached, and he was at the half-yard line, and I think his knee was down by the time he reached. Not a lot of happy parents on the east side of things, but you saw that stretch at the very end. His knee was down when he decided to stretch.
David Burke said, ooh, if we had instant replay. But we don't.
No, we do not.
If we did, it would be very close.
He wouldn't be happy with the results because you saw the stretch after he was basically fully laying down on the turf there.
I think they got it right. He was slightly short when the knees went down. Nice effort by Berkstead to get close, and now it's 4th and goal from less than a yard.
Yeah. I mean, why don't you?
What an effort, though.
What do you do on this play, Jeremiah?
You do this. You do the exact same thing. You're East. You're East. You're East football.
See, and I have
right up the middle.
I have to disagree with you there.
Okay.
I'm going to go quarterback sneak. It's very different.
Okay.
It's a very different thought. Either way, it's going straight up the dang middle.
We can agree on that.
You have to.
There's no secret what East is going to do here.
I mean, this is less than a half a yard. You're talking about the nose of the football just needs to get off. But as soon as that ball's snapped, it goes backward. And if you're the Brighton defense, you have that one fraction of a second before that quarterback starts pushing to make sure and try to beat him there.
Here we go. 4th and goal. Just inches away. And Crosby's going to push it in and get the touchdown.
Fall forward. Just lean on the big butt of your offensive lineman right in front of you. Punches that thing in. And
East climbs right back into this one. We know it's going to be a good game tonight.
Yeah, we do. And I'm anxious to see what happens as these defenses get settled in, because Brighton, they're a very good offensive team. East has flexed their muscles on defense. Anxious to see strength versus strength, what wins out in the second half.
Yeah, let's go back into the Harriman-Bingham game. It is Bingham leading 19-14, so they're able to kick an extra point. But it is Harriman football at the 5-yard line. Let's rejoin Dane Stewart, Moose Bingham, 5:30 left in the half.
2nd and goal. A lot of opportunities out there. Harriman with an opportunity here. Bingham showing pressure. They bring it up the middle. Ty looking end zone for Johnson. That caught! Touchdown! And it was actually Caden Hansen who went up and caught that ball. Beautiful reception out of the air as Harriman with the answer.
Caden Hansen gets to do his favorite thing, and that's celebrate in the end zone. You love to see that. That was such an incredible throw by Ty. Freddie, I mean, he's going to be a nightmare for these Bingham Miners. Well, Freddie Krueger.
There we go. I didn't catch it, Moose. My apologies.
Freddie's going to be a nightmare.
Point after, up, and good. 21-19. Back and forth. We continue to go as the Mustangs retake the lead.
Ty with the touchdown pass right there. Big response from Harriman. What a grab in the back of the end zone from Hansen. You got to give love to a guy named Hansen, right, Dusty? I mean, absolutely great touchdown catch there.
They earn the love by the last name. I understand that.
Absolutely they do.
Absolutely understand that. Let's take you out to Orem and Maple Mountain as Bank Jackson in the offense has got a big play, puts him out around midfield. Let's take you into this broadcast. Brought to you by Spanish Fork TV. It's Maple Mountain football at the plus side of the 50. So it's a 49-yard line. No, right at the 50, actually. 1st and 10, Golden Eagles.
Longest run of the day. They go the other side with the option, and cutting it back upfield again is Hoff-Hines, but far less damage done on this play, a 2-yard gain.
So 3 minutes and 50 seconds here in the second quarter, and Maple Mountain has really struggled outside of moving the ball between the 20s. They have no problem doing that. It's just getting it into the end zone or into the red zone for that matter.
There has been a block on that side of the field that they cannot get over. 2nd and 8, man in motion. Handoff to Hoffheinz up the middle, chugging his way for a first down at the 38-yard line. And now Maple Mountain getting some damage on the ground.
And I'm very impressed with Maple Mountain's offensive line. They're blocking a lot better than when I saw them earlier this season against Spanish Fork and Salem Hills. Or maybe it's a product of Orem's run defense. I don't know what the case is, but Maple Mountain's, it's not just Banks, Jackson out there having to manufacture rushing yards. They actually have a little bit of a rushing attack tonight, which is a very welcome sign.
Handoff again to Hoffheinz, and just like the last time when they went back to him, a minimal gain, about 1.5 yards there. And you are right, though, Jackson, at quarterback, we expect to see him running on the ground a lot more, but he hasn't really had to at this point.
Yeah, he's had a couple of times where he's put it down and had one exceptional run, but he hasn't had to. And, it really opens up the playbook if you can hand it off to your running back in this spread formation and get a few yards.
Looking downfield now, and oh my goodness, just looked like another miscommunication there. Poor throw, and looked like it should have been intercepted for the Tigers.
Yeah, Dallin Hill that time had the ball intercepted, and maybe that's why he's on the defensive side instead of the offensive side, or so scared that the ball was coming towards him he didn't know what to do. Nonetheless, Maple Mountain gets away with one there, and got to really protect that ball.
Yeah, for both sides, the passing game has been a little sketchy. There's been some, and it looks like we're going to have a timeout here for Maple Mountain, which will give us an
timeout there. We'll come back. It'll be 3rd down and 7. Let's go back to Lone Peak and American Fork. Now, we've had some technical issues with this game, so we apologize if you've been trying to check into this. We had some internet problems. But right now, 2nd down and 10 for the Knights, trailing 14-7 late in the second quarter.
Pressure comes in his face. Quick throw, and Davis Andrews shows why he's a Power 5 player as he flies in and breaks that one up.
Call that man Timex because he is on the dot on time for the hit with that one. You can see why Davis Andrews is so highly coveted by Utah, BYU, Notre Dame. I bet every team in the West would take Davis Andrews at this point. Just a great football player, great young man. And as it looks like the Knights take a timeout here, JT. Talk this one over, 3rd and 10.
Lone Peak will take a timeout. And as a reminder, Lone Peak football on the Rewind Sports Network on KSL Sports.
So timeout there, Davis Andrews.
Whew, he's quick from that safety spot.
Yeah.
He's also going to be a busy man after this game's over. He's got an unofficial visit to the big one tomorrow.
Kenzie Valentine is so jelly right now.
Yeah,
she's
absolutely.
so jelly, she might as well be raspberry jelly. Grape jelly.
Raspberry. My mom made raspberry lemonade jelly.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was good.
Really?
It was very good. My mom makes
These
the best
Lindor chocolates
jam.
aren't going to do it. Yeah.
No.
You remember when you were a kid, your mom would take you to the movies and you send you with a nice little warm thing of jam.
I also remember like 2 weeks ago when my mom took me to the movies and had a nice warm thing of jam. Yeah, I mean, I'm not afraid to admit it.
Let's send you out to Manti and Canyon View. 14-12, Manti leads. 7 minutes, 17 seconds left in the half. It's 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line for the Templars.
Left, two-point lead for the Templars. Starkweather's going to call his own number again. Gets inside the 10, brought down about the 7-yard line.
Yeah, good job of just running up the middle. As like you say, I'm watching the receivers and these cornerbacks as there is quite the battle as they're grabbing each other and tossing each other around. Now, if it is a run play, then it's not defensive holding as they try and shed them.
2nd down and 4. Starkweather looks to pass. He's looking left. Kind of a jump pass over to the corner. It's going to be incomplete. Hunter Stevens covered pretty well.
There is a flag there close to either holding or late hit on the quarterback. We'll see what there's going to be. It is holding on Manti.
Yeah, that couldn't have been a late hit. That was a good hit on Mason Starkweather that time by the Falcons. So that will push them back 10 yards from the line of scrimmage, so it'll be at the 17.
You know, I don't have a good feel for it. I don't have statistics, but I think 80% of the penalties have been within 10 yards of where that one was for tonight.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of penalties in this end of the field.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. 14-12, Manti with the lead. 6:46 left here in the first half. They're going to have a 2nd and 14 from the 17, so they can get a first down near the goal line at about the 3-yard line. 3 wide to the right, 1 to the left, and you have Bo Stevens now into the game next to Mason Starkweather. Starkweather calls for it. Dropping back, a little screen pass set up, and it's just dropped. Just throws it a little bit too low.
Yeah, it was at about waist height that the thrown was done. I like the play call there. Let that defensive line come through quick, and it makes it so they will be a little more honest on their pass rush coming up. Manti, I think what has worked for him in previous games is working with your wide receivers, but the wide receivers are having a tough time getting off the line of scrimmage.
Separation.
Getting that separation started. Good defense by the Falcons.
Starkweather, now he's going to throw to the middle. That's going to be picked off by Canyon View. Gets a couple of blocks out to the 20. He's going to be brought down at the 20-yard line. Great play by Deegan Davies to pick that one off and give the ball back to the Falcons.
Yeah, he caught that. Was that at about the 2-yard line that he caught that turnover for Manti again in this red zone, coming up with no points as Manti does lead just by 2. This is a tough battle here in Manti.
6.5 left in this first half. Canyon View will take over.
I'm never critical.
Line.
You have one job. Throw the ball to 23.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all it is. We want to see Reggie Frischknecht go high point of football, especially high point of football for a touchdown. But nice defensive play from the Falcons. But we'll go quickly. Lone Peak and American Fork coming out of that timeout. 3rd down and long for Lone Peak.
Blitz. Robinson grabs it at the 20, able to shake out a 1 tackle down the sideline. Robinson diving for the end zone, and he is ruled out of bounds. He's ruled out of bounds. Wow. Oh, the official had a good angle on the sideline, but that is a tough for Robinson, and it will actually, it's not even a first down. It'll set up 4th and I believe 1, Brian. What a sequence.
I was already out of breath because what a catch by Trey Robinson! Goes up top, evades the defender, gets down the end zone. Man, if this sport really were written by writers, JT, that would have been a touchdown all the way for Trey Robinson. Now, even more critical, 4th down for Lone Peak. They have to get this. They have to get a touchdown here.
American Fork with a lot of bodies in the box, and I believe we'll see a timeout by the Knights. Got to talk this one over. How are you playing it if you're Lone Peak, Brian?
If I'm Lone Peak, I think really what we want to do is
reffing. I don't know how they see that he was out of bounds. Let the touchdown stand because good plays deserve to stand.
It is the NFL tonight. No fun league.
Oh, man.
No fun league when he leaps into the end zone. At least they didn't throw a 15-yard penalty for showboating.
Yeah, well, only because it was a dead ball because he was out of bounds.
I saw that it's the 16th anniversary sometime this week, the leaping touchdown for Reggie Bush in the NFL. The Saints, they called the most poetic, picture or whatever.
Yeah,
remember that one?
I do.
7 yards out?
I do.
Yeah. They would have taken it away tonight and said,
"Yep,
no soup for you."
They would have. Zero fun.
We'll take you back out to Lone Peak. Bingham inside we'll see, they're at the 7-yard line, and I believe it's 2nd down and short. Give the ball to Sudbury, and Sudbury can be close to the first down marker.
Was that a fake fumble? It sort of looked like a fake fumble from the quarterback. It was firmly in his hands, but he looked down oh, no, where is it? That was interesting.
You're right. It was kind of like a quick try to get it off, too. It was almost like the Texas double snap play they ran at Alabama.
Yeah, it is what that felt like.
We haven't even talked about that.
We've got refs reffing again.
So while the refs ref here, let's take you back into Lone Peak.
4th and 2.
Lone at the goal line.
Gotta have it. Staley, before he got it off the timeout, you can see Coach Beam come flying in at the top of your screen that time. And obviously, Lone Peak was going to pass there. American Fork probably thought it was going to be a run. Coach Beam decides to take the timeout.
A little bit of gamesmanship maybe from Coach Beam there, waiting till the very last second to call that timeout so you could see the action. You're going to force Coach Brockbank and Coach Strobridge to dip back into their bag for this one. And JT, if you're Lone Peak, I like the action, really. I think Staley's been much more successful rolling to the left and getting outside the pocket where he feels a little bit more comfortable.
I knew that JT Wistersill's ringtone was the BYU fight song.
Yeah, that seems on brand for JT, doesn't it?
Does the University of Utah podcast, but his ringtone is the BYU fight song.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
I knew it.
Checks out. It's either him or Brian, one or the other.
Definitely Brown Bear. He's been hiding it. But JT, this is his last game with us tonight. As JT's accepted a position out in North Carolina, and we're super excited for him. This is his swan song with Rewind tonight. Let's take it back out. 4th down and 1 for Lone Peak at the 3-yard line.
Stacked in the box here for American Fork.
Staley looks. Robinson can't make the grab. Lone Peak will turn it over on downs, and American Fork will take over.
Boy, JT, I have to say, I think Coach Beam did a great job in that one, using gamesmanship to his advantage. I thought the call that they had earlier gave Lone Peak a lot better opportunity on that one. I've seen Staley trying to make those angled throws. It's super difficult, and even so, Robinson's so sure-handed. Just can't reel that one in, and boy, what a stand for American Fork there at the goal line.
Oh, a goal line stand for AF.
Big play. I don't know if that was bad offense or good defense there, but big play for AF. Now they got to get out of their own shadow of their goalpost.
Call him out of bounds at the 3-yard line. Major implications on that one. So we're at the top of the hour. We can get you back into that game, but we're up against the break. If you're on the stream, you'll be able to see this drive here from American Fork. We'll be right back. You are watching and listening to KSL Sports Rewind's Friday Night Red Zone on the KSLSports.com, the KSL Plus app, and on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We'll come back with Kenzie Valentine. It's okay.
JT, it'll be interesting to see. I don't believe that Lone Peak has one timeout left, so American Fork's going to try and take this down as far as they possibly can. Lone Peak may actually get the ball back here.
And American Fork gets it to start the second half. So we'll see how that factors into things. I believe the Knights only with one timeout left, and nearly a safety. Erdley barely gets out of the end zone, and now we will see Lone Peak signal for the safety. I thought for a second they were signaling for timeout, but wanted the safety that time. And we will see the timeout actually come in, flying in late there. So 56 seconds left. It's going to set up 3rd and 12, and this will be from the 1. Ooh, that was close for the Cavemen, Brian.
It was very close for American Fork, and if you're Coach Beam, you're going to talk to your offensive line and your offensive unit in this timeout. It's almost a benefit to American Fork in a way, because that offensive unit didn't look like they were in control of the situation. A safety there, JT, would have been huge. Not only do you get the 2 points on the board, but then American Fork would have had to punt the ball or kick the ball back to Lone Peak. Would have given them an opportunity to at the very least get into field goal position. Regardless, they're going to get the ball back here, I think, with maybe a few seconds left after 3rd down. I don't know. We'll see how it all works out, because it is the 40-second clock that starts.
Got one timeout.
Yeah, so they do have one timeout left, so they'll be able to stop the clock as well.
We've got a lot of high school press conferences you and I have been to. They don't have the luxury of updating the timeouts for us throughout it, so I understand that.
Last week, our scoreboard was actually speaking a different language to us throughout the most of the game. So always grateful to have you here on the broadcast to keep me inside the lines on this one. But regardless, this is a critical play. Lone Peak's going to get the ball back here with several seconds, plenty of time to operate, and likely really good field position. And also, they have Trey Robinson.
We saw him make a huge play the last time the Knights were on the field. Story deep in his own end zone. Lone Peak nearly at a safety. They'll bring 5. It's picked up. Lofted it out. Andrews running deep and slightly overthrown that time. And because it's incomplete, stops the clock. Knights saved that timeout.
They did. And listen, the save timeout is one thing, JT, but really I think American Fork had nothing else to go to on that one but to just kind of sit back and let it rip. We saw what happened in the run game. They certainly weren't going to risk that again. So I actually do like the call from Coach Beam. What becomes dangerous now, JT, is you've got less than 10 yards to operate here. If you're the American Fork punt unit, this becomes very dangerous territory.
Lott gets it away. Booming punt. Nawahine crosses the 50, got blockers in front of him. Lone Peak doing a good job, and they'll get it at about the 37. So the Knights came up just short in heartbreaking fashion, but still with an opportunity. 37 seconds left. Of course, the clock stops as you get a first down and that one timeout. And we just saw Lone Peak make not one, but 2 big plays through the passing game on that previous drive.
Yeah, and listen, not a great offensive
Welcome back to KSL Sports Rewind Red Zone. I'm Kenzie Valentine with some more scoreboard updates tonight, starting with Sky Ridge at Lehigh. Sky Ridge is now up 14-10 late in the first half. Alta is up 14-6 on Olympus. Springville at Wasatch. Springville's up 13-6. Skyview at Logan. Skyview's up 36-12. There's about 8 minutes left for all those games in the first half. Let's go to Bingham at Harriman with Bingham on the goal line. Could it be Carson Sudbury time?
Hand off, Carson, left side, Sudbury into the end zone for the touchdown.
Every college coach should be taking notes. I mean, I don't care where you're at. I don't care what you think. Carson Sudbury can play ball. My goodness, it's fun to watch Mr. Clean down there on the field. Stop it, Bingham. This is the weird thing. They've got their punter at the bottom of the screen.
Didn't matter how much stubble or long hair they had. You were not stopping Carson Sudbury. How about Kinsey? The prognostication from Kenzie Valentine.
Oh, well done. And those men probably are a little hairy, so I get it.
The Utes have a big game tomorrow. Ohio State's big. Is she going to be giving out some free advice by the end of the night? Prognosticating like that.
Wait till the witching hour.
Let's go out to Mountain View and Timpanogos. I don't think this loss is going to become a win for, well, let's see. Let's take it back out there as Timpanogos Timberwolves without Tage Litster, season-ending injury to my nephew. But let's take it back out there to go watch the Timberwolves against the Bruins.
Called for a timeout.
I'm liking that idea of a no backfield set, just the quarterback and him only, because you know you're trying to get that ball a little bit further down the sidelines, down the hash marks.
And you think about it, that's what Heaps likes to do. That's what Austin Heaps like to do in that spread formation. I mean, they went out of so many formations. The diamond we saw the triple stack formation, and we also saw that kind of interesting 5-out formation right there.
Yep.
They could just come at you with so many looks, this Timpanogos team. It's really interesting.
It's funny how many shapes that you can name that this team is able to make just in their receivers alone. Triangle, diamond, even you can honestly argue circle a little bit, or a little bit of square as well. I think this team knows what they're doing, Alex.
What does that say about us?
Yeah, that's true. I don't think I could do half the things that these guys are doing, and I'm in college.
I'm wondering what that says about us. So Timpanogos, one timeout left, and this is going to have to be a fast play here. 7 seconds to go, and they better hope that Riggs has a quick pass in him. He looks quick. He throws to the end zone. It's broken up. And that, I think, in effect, was an incomplete pass just to stop the clock. He would have thrown it out of bounds anyway, and here comes the field goal unit with 2 seconds left.
And I think that's the good move to go. You can go up at least 30 points.
But risk.
Well, we have 3 seconds left here. When we're done with this, we're going to send you back out to Bingham and Harriman. Let's just show you the play. Nice throw up the sideline, across the midfield. Timpanogos is going to line up for a field goal, so we're not going to show field goals. I'll let you know what goes on. Brightsing lining up for a 42-yard field goal. The kick is blocked. So field goal will be no good at the end of the half. A bright spot there for Mountain View.
Yeah, bright spot. They got the return. It's halftime, but it was still a cool play to return the field goal to the 40-yard line.
All right, let's take you back out to Harriman the Mustangs. I love teasing Kenzie. That ball goes out of bounds. 25 seconds left in the half. Harriman at the Bingham 44-yard line.
Last couple, I think it was at least a minute left in the second quarter. They tried to get across that 50-yard line area. Did not work. They threw a deep pass. Timpanogos almost comes with a scoring opportunity. I think they're lucky that didn't come.
Well, remember.
Ty stepping up, buying time, and that skipped, incomplete. Tried to sell it, but that one just underthrown, looking for Caden Hansen.
Ty's going to want that one back. Honestly, I loved his pocket presence right there. He started by coming back and then stepping up, finding his man, Just a bit outside, though.
Here's the thing, though, with no timeouts, I mean, that only stops the clock to move the change. You probably lose 6 seconds here if you make that catch.
So you're saying the receiver batted it down?
I'm not, but that's probably not the worst in the world.
No.
Ty with a back to his right. Oh, Ty showing some of his elusiveness, takes it up to the 32-yard line.
Now you're in field goal range, at least, like doable field goal range. If you get a few more yards, but this is a 49-yard field goal, maybe a 50 depending on where they snap it from. But Harriman has an elite snapper. They've got a lot of good things going for him. Their kicker should be able to hit this, but you've got an opportunity for some shots, and Bingham's going to think this one over.
That's a Bingham timeout taken here with 14 seconds left. How about Harriman? They get this ball with 44 seconds left. They've moved it about 40 yards in a span of 30 seconds with no timeouts. Pretty good execution.
Absolutely incredible. And then they know that Bingham's getting the ball to start the second.
Here, we're going to be taking out to Wasatch and Springville. They're running a drone tonight on Sting
that
TV.
looks cool out there.
Yeah, they spare no expense on their student production. We'll be showing you that here momentarily. But halftime scores will be coming up. Kenzie's gave you a bunch. We won't step on her toes. We'll go through all the other stuff we've got going on here in the state of Utah. We've got games getting close to halftime. We got some homecoming games. There are going to be some extended halftimes. We have extended time with myself and Jeff Hansen with all the fun stuff we're going to talk about.
And what more could you want than extended time with the two of us?
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Vince loves it. Every Friday, it is the highlight of his week. He told me today when I walked in, he said, Jeff, I'm so happy to see you. He tried to give me a hug. He tried to give me a hug, but I said, Vince, it's okay. I understand.
I can honestly say I never see Kenzie have a bigger smile than she does when we're here.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and I only see her on Fridays.
I would want to spend time with us, too. There's no question about it.
Let's take you back into Harriman and Bingham.
Over the middle, that throw on target, caught. Couple men miss. Inside the 10 and tackle the 7.
Dirty laundry on the field, though.
Yeah, back. Yeah, a flag back near the line of scrimmage.
So Bingham brilliantly had a delayed blitz right there that got picked up and might have gotten a handful of cloth there.
No, Harriman continuing to move forward. This looks like it might be on the Miners.
Oh, wow. Jody Morgan is clapping it up, saying, let's go, let's go, let's go. Big response by Harriman. Smartly using their timeouts now as we look in retrospect.
No kidding, huh? Been a master class of execution as Harriman will be set up with a first and goal. The ball is spotted at the 7. It's a personal foul face mask, so that penalty will be declined, and Bingham now going to take the last time out here as they're trying to maintain the lead. Wow.
Bingham helping him out a little bit, it seems almost.
I mean, you have two opportunities here.
Now you have two. I'm not sure if you had two before. Bingham, they have to get to the quarterback. That's the only way you end this half with no points. But Harriman, incredible plays. Ty says, I don't want to lose. I want to win. No ties for me.
Well, and the incredible thing is you're going over the middle. There's two Miners that have an opportunity to make that tackle, and they miss them. And you give up an extra 7-8 yards.
Phenomenal effort. It's just fun to watch this game. This is what we live for. This is why we love high school sports. Not a lopsided game. Thank you.
Oh, it's finally football season with the 7, Moose.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this for 6 weeks, and finally.
So coming out of timeout, first and goal for Harriman at the 7. There's 7 seconds to go.
Look for number 16 at the top of your screen. He's double covered. You've got a man over the top. You've got a man jamming at the line. But they've got a lot of defenders out and hopefully bringing some extra pressure as well if you're a Bingham fan.
Ty, back, looking, double pumped, now running around, got to get rid of it, throws to the back of the end zone, and that incomplete.
0.2 seconds left.
But there's a flag in the backfield here.
Whoa.
That was one where you could kind of feel like Freddie was holding on to that maybe a little too long. And Harriman now looking like they're going to send out the field goal unit.
Or the heavy unit. You never know.
Well, heavy from the 10 is probably not very good odds.
Okay, I guess it is the field goal unit.
I can't believe that you're suggesting that when a kicker could get 3, Moose.
After watching what Carson Sudbury's done, it's been a heavy unit all game for Bingham Miners.
Oh.
But I'm okay with the field goal. I encourage the field goal with 0.2 seconds left.
The penalty was indeed on Harriman.
As a kicker, I would accept this penalty and then some. Let's see how far back we can get and how dramatic we can make this kick. Oh, I thought the ref was throwing another flag. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I was like, wow, they're just being cordial gentlemen.
This will be a 34-yard try for the Harriman Mustangs as they try to close out the half with what would be a really impressive scoring drive, having no timeouts. Here's Amaj, the kick. Oh, no, we had whistles before. And I think this might be an official kind of pointing at himself here. We've had a couple times where
We've had enough reffing, but officials were not set on that. The field goal was, plenty of leg on it.
I think he deserves the points.
That's
on you, refs. If they miss this field goal, it's ref's fault.
No, this is the biggest kicker since Riker Matthews we've had in the state of Utah.
He's got a leg, too.
Yeah, he's like Hunter the punter back in the day. All right, let's send it back in to Dane and Moose. So hopefully Moose doesn't scream into the microphone here.
Ready to go here. This kick up, and this is good. Harriman able to score it as a late flag coming in after that play.
Another flag. At this point, just let them go into halftime. We're past 0-0 at this point.
After the refs aren't they aren't ready to go, and he kicks it, and then now they are ready to go. They're going to throw a flag. The audacity of these refs. This is absurd. Just let the boys play.
Jeff is a very good writer, so he can go full Stephen A. Smith.
Oh,
the atrocity that is all these flags we've seen today. I won't stand for it.
It's insane. I don't know what's in the water out there in Harriman, but we've got to get rid of it. No question.
It's all the copper mine stuff going on. It is getting everywhere tonight. But welcome back into the studio. You're going to see the 6-box. I don't know what I want to use the right phraseology since we are a high school show after all. But
a roughing the kicker. What are they going to do with this? Back to this Harriman game. I'm watching this in the top right corner on your screen if you're on the stream. They called a roughing the kicker, so the kick is good. I guess this gets enforced coming out of halftime.
Half. Yeah, it might be. We have some games come out in the second half. I'm guessing that's what it is. I bet they take it into the next half.
It feels like these refs are sort of making it up as they go along anyway. So, yeah, maybe there's 2 penalties because it went through halftime.
At least we don't have a touchdown coming off the board because that was what I was really worried about. Because we had the touchdown in the Lone Peak American Fork game come off the board for Trey Robinson, and led to a turnover on downs. But we got a bunch of close games tonight, Jeff. This is a different schedule. We're in the thick of region play, and with all that happens with the RPI, it's all a little bit different. We have new realignment. Corner Canyon's in Region 2. Who would have thunk it that Zach Wilson was a Region 2 legend?
Yeah.
But here we are.
Yeah.
And so it leads to a couple different things.
Puka Nakua's a Big 12 legend. Zach Wilson, a Region 2 legend. These things happen.
It does. Let's go through some of the scores we haven't talked about tonight. Let's start first with Corner Canyon. The Chargers up on Riverton, and an odd score. You pointed this out to me, 27-12 at Riverton.
Yeah, a weird game. It's not like Corner's in danger of losing. They're firmly in control, but I think anybody who looks at the score would expect that Corner would be playing a little bit better, up by a little bit more than they are.
Brian Brady's got 2 touchdowns on the night, an 83-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. Cash Dillon has a touchdown catch from Isaac Wilson, who has 2 touchdown passes. The other one to Drew Watcott.
Riverton has what appears to be a couple of drives. They scored on a 6-yard touchdown run. I don't see any listed turnovers for Corner Canyon, so I got to think that that's at least some kind of an extended drive for Riverton against that Corner defense.
No, I'm pretty sure, and I'll do some research here momentarily, but you saw the Bingham-Harriman game go to the half. 26-24, the lead for Bingham over Harriman. I'm pretty sure. And I'm pretty confident in saying this. I believe this is the highest combined score in this series history.
It has to be. I mean,
these
these
are
are
a lot of
two-
6-3 games and
Yeah,
stuff.
these are two proud defenses, generally speaking, and we're getting a shootout.
I mean, just absolutely unreal. Other scores within 6A, Kenzie is tracking Skyridge and Lehigh. I'm not going to step on that, but you can come back for that. Davis leading Fremont 21-0. Farmington trying to get off the mat. Farmington leading Layton 16-7.
And both of these teams, I think, are winless, looking for their first wins of the season. And kind of surprising, both teams that I think had high expectations coming into the year, and it's the Ophir game tonight.
The Layton game's what sparked Farmington's run last year in the second half of the season. So this is something that they're wanting.
Farmington still has talent, and with the way that the state tournament is set up, they could still make a run if they can figure some things out. Syracuse.
Yep.
This is a surprising game. Weber's started to figure some things out in the last couple of weeks.
Catch Carney is really good.
He's played really well. Celeste Mo on the outside for Weber. It's a close game out there in Syracuse. It's at halftime. Syracuse is up 20-14 over the Warriors.
Yeah, really impressed with what we've seen from both of those schools. Let's take a look at some 5A scores. Timpview leading Cedar Valley 41-0. As that offense has found itself.
Yeah, Helaman Kasuga, he's figured himself out. After some early season struggles, he's humming now.
How about this? Alta jumped out on Olympus 14-0. Then Luke Bryant had a 31-yard touchdown catch from Chase Mosley and then a 24-yard run. Now, they say run and then it says from Chase Mosley. So Luke Bryant with 2 scores in the second quarter. This game's tied at 12 going into the half.
Yeah, that's
Or probably tied at 14 going into the half.
Luke Bryant, just a special player that we don't talk about enough here in the state of Utah. He's been good all year long, and he's been good for a couple of years.
Yeah, it's always good to quote Luke Bryant, the singer. How about Box Elder? Box Elder up 21-14 on Viewmont as Dax Sumko, a 70-yard touchdown run in this one. Snapped his streak last week if the box score was correct of touchdowns in a game, but has one in the first half from 70 yards out.
I'm just trying to remember the last time I ran 70 yards straight, and I think it was probably 16 or 17 years ago.
Do you think it was that long ago?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I have no reason to run 70 yards now. I got a community mailbox. I drive to the mailbox now. So I have no reason to run 70 yards.
Jeff's got to come on the show. We're going to put him on the wheel and find out what happens.
That's a good way to get Jeff to die. I mean, that's put Jeff on the wheel. That's a good way to just end me.
I almost died having to say 5 nice things about Emory last week. It still doesn't taste really good in my mouth. How about Orem leading Maple Mountain at the half, 7-0? Of all the things I thought we'd see in 5A, and I'm not ever surprised. Well, sometimes you're surprised by who wins. I did not think this game would be 7-0 at the half.
No, but this is what Maple Mountain has done all year long. Regardless of who they're playing, they've played tough defense, and they've done just enough offense, and they're in a game, and it seems like it's a one-score game that comes down to the final drive every single week.
Well, an interesting score here. Springville was scored 13 unanswered points in the second quarter. They lead 13-6 at Wasatch. Ashton Southam with 2 field goals in the first quarter. Both 43-yard field goals, as it's 13-6 Springville. Tavita Valetti did find pay dirt twice.
Well, of course he did. I mean, that's what he does. Kind of an interesting matchup that I think we know how it's going to turn out. 28-7 Crimson Cliffs over Stansbury at the half. But that's an interesting game. Those are 2 talented teams. It's tough for any of these teams up north traveling down to St. George.
Yeah.
It's kind of a tough situation for Stansbury, and they're running into the Steel Barbin machine. He's got a pair of touchdown passes and a touchdown run.
I don't know who touches Crimson Cliffs in 4A.
I don't know.
I don't know who challenges them in 4A, because right now it's looking like Riley Nelson and Logan in 3A back in 2005.
It is. If anybody's going to challenge them in 4A, it's got to be Skyview, right?
It has to be.
And speaking of Logan, Skyview is all over Logan today. The last reported score, I think it was a 4-score game. Yeah, 50-18 with just a couple of minutes left in the first half. We saw Riley Nelson tonight.
It was not tell Riley Nelson that.
Yeah, we won't report that score to him.
So he was planning on going to the Woods Cross game potentially. It was Roy all over Woods Cross, 20-3, and we want to send our condolences out to Coach Brody Benson. Lost his father this week. Don't know that he's on the sidelines tonight. Know how that feels to lose a parent, but certainly with Coach Brody Benson but the Roy Royals up 20-3 at the Red Hot Wildcats.
Yeah, they have played really well. Another game, we've got to give love when Jordan is winning. We've got to highlight that game. The Beat Diggers are up 14-13 at Tooele. Again, kind of a weird matchup here at this point in the season, but here we are.
Don't know the last time they even played each other. I mean, probably back when the A-B classifications existed.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because that's when Jordan and Carbon were rivals back when they were in the A classification. How about another interesting game of teams who have just been down? Murray leads Hillcrest 21-20. Both those teams looking to get their wins where they can come, and that's an interesting score. Provo leads Payson 19-16. We had expectations for Payson this year. Has not gone the way they wanted to go, but this Provo team, they play close, and the Coach Chambers' crew takes care of it. I imagine Lisa is going to have some touchdowns in the second half.
I would think so. I mean, this has been the script for them all year long of keep it close until the second half, and then that's when Lessa takes over. I've got one for you here. Halftime, Grantsville at Ogden. It's all knotted up at 14.
Really?
Ogden's surprising.
The Fighting Eric Thompsons. I love it.
And that's huge.
That makes me so happy. Anytime he gets wins, we celebrate him here. Desert Hills and Dixie, 24-14. Desert Hills leads the Flyers. Cedar City leads Pineview 14-7. To go through some of those 4A scores. Then we look at 3A. Juan Diego leads Union 17-12. You mentioned the Ogden-Grantsville game. Juab leads North St. Pete. And we have Manti Canyon View. We'll talk about that one a little bit later. We'll show it here on the Red Zone.
Do you want an update on the weekly Jeff versus Dusty game?
Yeah, let's do it.
Because it's not pretty.
I know it's not. I just saw the one score.
It's another one of those games. Clearfield is playing at Bountiful. They are down 60-0 in the second quarter. And that means that you get the win so far.
I'm up 19.
Yeah, you were up 19. Carbon down at Richfield 41-0. So you got a 19-point lead on me tonight.
Mercy. Providence Hall leads American Leadership. Now this game's interesting. American Leadership's 1-5. Providence Hall's 5-1. Providence Hall leads 19-12 over the Eagles of American Leadership. San Juan is all over South Sevier. That was expected. Let's take a look at 1A. We have a couple interesting 1A games this evening. Gunnison Valley leads Duchesne 14-12. We might be catching the end of that game here in the second half of our coverage. And Milford, the Milfordmen are leading Enterprise. The fighting Bryson Barnes. Well, now a score just came up. 14-7. The Wolves lead Milford as it was Riker Phillips plunging in from 1 yard out. As the Enterprise Wolves holding off right now, the Milford Tigers 14-7.
The Tigers, I was starting to really question, are they really the Milfordmen? But they are not.
Dane, obviously being an Arrested Development fan, calls them the Milfordmen.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I get it.
One of our longer running jokes on Rewind for those who watch the show.
Watch the show. It's a great show. There's lots of content every week. Make sure you watch the show. I'm an avid watcher of the show.
Jeff doesn't miss an episode.
Not a single minute of any episode ever. I get all the inside jokes, and I'd love to be a part of one day.
You almost got me. How about East and Brighton? East scored a touchdown, a long touchdown run to open the second half. We felt this game would be great. I called it the Brandon Matich Bowl because Brandon Matich is a Brighton alum.
Yeah.
Bringing back his East Side Leopards who are now in the same region.
Should have called it the classic uniform bowl. This is like you're playing NCAA 14 and you're making your own university, and these are the uniform templates. They look great. That's a big
awesome
play. Jack Johnson looks great.
They'll make it this straight. Brighton's new uniforms are fixed by Casey Soteric. They used to be all blue, and then white with blue.
No.
But they'll white bottoms with the triple stripe.
Yeah, Casey Soteric's done a lot of good things since he took that head coaching job at Brighton, but that might be his best move.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get out to Brighton as Jack Johnson and the Bengal offense comes out on the field for their first possession of the second half. Tied at 14 against East. They're on their own 29-yard line.
So LaFleur with that carry. Johnson's going to pass, takes a shot down the middle. He's open. He's got him this time.
Wismer with the catch.
I'll tell you. You notice, too, he's in triple coverage now. So now you have Coach Matich who says, I'm not going to get caught with my pants down back here. If Wismer's going to hit that streak route, and you know what? A much more difficult catch to make, and he does it. He's absolutely
Crazy,
made up for
right?
that first miscue, yeah.
Marcus Lurcher with the tackle. Got a flag on the play. This could be coming back for Brighton. They're not. Might have been caught with their hand in the cookie jar there.
We got holding number 9 blue.
There you go.
See, I don't know, Jared, but I think it might be holding on number 9 and blue.
Did he restrict him?
Well, he wouldn't make the tackle. He actually pulled him backward.
Okay.
So they're getting insight on what they discuss.
That's good. Number what?
Yeah, so Wismer's going to get hit with that hold.
So this is coming back.
And again, it's past the play. It didn't need to happen.
Yeah.
And the play had already happened. You had already gotten your 5 or 6 yards, and you weren't going to get – this wasn't going to be one to get in the end zone.
Offense, number 9, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
We'll back up this flag, but we're going to take you hard in to Maple Mountain. Maple Mountain up probably trailing 7-0. They're on the 31-yard line of Orem.
And now they fake the handoff. Here comes Jackson, cutting through, open grass in front of him. Touchdown, Maple Mountain.
A great job by Maple Mountain. They had the option to hand that off to either the running back or the receiver that time. That time Jackson keeps it, goes 31 yards, and we're a PAT away from this game being tied up here.
Fantastic play caller, or like you said, maybe it was an option. Either way, whoever made the call for Jackson to keep it.
Banks Jackson's a revelation this year.
You know, if there was a bank that sponsored the show, this would be an ideal time to plug the bank.
It would be.
Because of Banks Jackson taking things to the bank, but alas, there's not.
And a bank with a terrific savings percentage would be awesome, too.
You could. It would be great.
It would be awesome. We'd be throwing it all over the place
we
right now.
We would. It would seem like the perfect thing.
Not even hypothetically. Let's take you back out to Brighton. This is after it's 2nd down and 21 after that big gain.
Tries to fake out the DB, but a fumble!
Ball's out.
Ball's loose. Who's got it? Brighton has it. The Bengals have it. What a wild sequence that was.
So you have the catch made. The ball's stripped out. The ball is stripped out. And then you see heads up by LaFleur, who picks that thing up off of the turf and actually almost turns this thing into a little bit of it. He gets back to past the line of scrimmage even, so makes a positive out about an 11-yard, what would have been an 11-yard loss. Instead gets back and gets a couple of yards back. But you're still looking at 3rd and 21. Messy sequence here for Brighton, who's had a hard time moving the football because of penalties.
David Bergstead forced the fumble. But as you said, LaFleur recovers it. And here we go, 3rd and 21. Johnson's going to look deep. He's going to pull it back out. Now he's going to run. Gets a few yards before he goes out of bounds. He gets back to about the original line of scrimmage.
So the way they've been beating the pressure tonight with Papayasa Matealu getting at him, he's also getting a lot of pressure from Anitalu Kafusi. I mean, these are guys who are their big dudes on defense. So what they do for Jack Johnson is they just go, hey, we're going to make this a little easier on yourself. We're going to step you away from that pocket. We're going to roll you out a few times. We're going to get the most pressure away from you. 4th and long, but they're going for it.
4th and 15. Look out for that pooch punt.
He might give that quick kick. You're right.
Johnson's very good at that, so that is possible here. No, we're going to get a pass. Johnson avoids the rush, rolls to his right, fires, almost intercepted, incomplete.
Yeah.
East takes over on downs.
Heck of a play by Damian Otacola. And well covered. I mean, if it's 4th and 14, you tell your guys, look, spy the quarterback a little bit, but you know they're throwing this football, so stay back in coverage. And they did. They sat on their guys, man coverage, and they got
Great job by that East defense. They gave up the big play, Jeff, but they get the turnover on downs.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it going into halftime, strength for strength. What happens in the second half? That Brighton offense, do they pull away, or do we see what we saw right there, and the East defense settles in?
It certainly does. All right, we're up against the break here, 8:33 here on Friday evening. You are watching and listening to KSL Sports Rewind's Friday Night Red Zone on KSLSports.com, the KSL Plus app, and on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Third and 6 here. Golden Eagles trying to capitalize on their momentum and bad field position because of the penalty for Orem. Going right, dangerous throw, but knocked down and no completion on that. It's going to be a 3-and-out for Orem, and their second punt of the day coming up. A great stop for the Golden Eagles.
And who comes up with that hit? None other than Hardy that time.
Yeah.
Hardy bringing the sweet heat.
Laying the lumber today. He's been all over the field. Looks like it's Morehouse back to receive. Last punt was played on a hop. In fact, just about every kick and punt today for Orem has been on the ground. This one up in the air, some hang time. It's going to be a fair catch for Morehouse. He takes it on Orem's 48 or so. Great field position for Maple Mountain, and they moved the ball very well on the ground. Didn't put it through the air once on their last drive.
So this is the opportunity for Maple Mountain to take control of this ball game and get their first lead, as Orem has led most of the ways as they had that early touchdown catch and throw by Engelman. So this game, either I'm having a lot of fun watching this defensive battle or this game is flying.
I think both are true. It is.
Both are true.
Yeah, it's been a fun defensive struggle, but an interesting one where it's been a defensive struggle, but we've seen some offense too. So kind of a best of both worlds.
Just not finishing drives is what we haven't seen.
So they go back to the well here. Actually, it's Jackson who keeps it, who scored on the last possession. And boy, is he shifty.
Yeah, he'll only get a credit for 7 or 8 yards, but he must have ran a solid 30 to get to the edge there and then upfield. It looked like that play was dead, and Jackson just was a little bit faster than the end or outside linebacker that time and picks up 3 yards.
Yeah. Wow.
He must have stepped out of bounds.
Yeah.
A little. I looked down there at the marker. I'm like, oh, he only gained 4?
Wow. You wonder, when is Maple Mountain going to catch him off guard and pull the ball back, throw the ball through the air, but at the same time, if they've had no answer, why change anything? And Hoffheinz, their minimal gain, 2 yards, so a bit of an uncomfortable third down spot as Orem stands strong.
3rd and 4 here, 41-yard line, the way that Hall has been play calling here, or not punting. I would expect Maple Mountain to be in 4-down territory, so if you do want to run it here, I don't think that's completely out of the question. See if you can pick it up on the ground.
We did have an option play earlier.
Game Night Live Red Zone on 97.5 VKSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back to KSL Sports Rewind Red Zone. I'm Kenzie Valentine with some halftime scoreboard updates, starting with Alta at Olympus. It is tied at the half, 14-14. Next, Duchesne at Gunnison Valley. That is a close game at the half. Gunnison Valley is up 14-12. Now for Skyridge at Lehigh. Jackson Stevens had another 22-yard touchdown pass to extend their lead with 1 minute left in the half. Then under a minute left in the half, Lehigh turned over their possession on a missed field goal. So now Skyridge is up 21-10 at the half. Let's go into American Fork at Lone Peak. AF's offense is moving the ball. Can Lone Peak's defense make a play?
2. Story in the cave-in, look back to the sideline. We saw Lone Peak really load up the box early on in the first half. Now only 7 bodies, but they've still been potent. Story looking to step up in the pocket, take a shot, and it's intercepted! The Knights with the pick across the 40. Lone Peak down the right side and taken down inside the 30 after the interception was Jaden Mayberry.
We'll talk about a lights-out play for the Knights here as it is a dark mode game. Just a great job by that defense, smothering the pocket. Dylan Story tries to find the receiver. Nothing doing as Nawahide steps in front of it, and he's off for the return. And this puts the Knights in great field possession.
How about Mayberry? Such a stud.
Jaden Mayberry, man. All season long, he's been a bright spot for a Lone Peak team that has been scuffling.
I'm telling you, whatever it is, if you know Kenzie, ask her for some advice. She's 2 for 2.
Yeah, she's doing really well.
I don't know. I didn't do that well when Vince was even trying to give me the cheat sheet back in the day.
Vince has never given me the cheat sheet. I wonder why.
He gets so moody sometimes. But Vince, can we please go to Maple Mountain? 7-7. Maple Mountain tied with Orem in the third quarter coming out of the break. Maple Mountain looking to make something happen.
Well,
he shows us a punt. I even said please.
This is the problem. When we mock Vince, he is the one in all the power.
He is the one in control.
Hey.
All right, let's go into Maple Mountain.
On the left side, it is the option. There goes Hoffheinz. He's got plenty of room in front of him. Green grass. He needs a block. He's taken down at the 4. Ball comes out, but he was down.
And he's still slow to get up that time, Hoffheinz. But what a great run. I like this excitement in your voice there, Mac, because that was the perfect play call. Orem blitzed there, and they have been blitzing on 3rd down. And so that option plays open on that edge as Chewy Schroeder over pursued number 7 for Orem that time. And that's something as Hoffheinz is still down, unfortunately.
There he is. He's up. He hopefully is okay. Well, or go ahead, Chris.
He's just trying to, he's got to take a break somehow.
Yep.
He seems to be all right.
Yeah. Well, Chris, I don't know if you know this, but I'm also actually the offensive coordinator for Maple Mountain on that play. Talked about the option.
Yeah.
And there it was, right there. Caught Orem maybe overcommitting a little bit to in between the tackles and wide open space. And this has flipped the game.
I think Yishi, is that who's in the backfield? Yes. Number 23, Yishi's checked into the ball game for Hoffheinz here.
I don't know that he's had a single touch today. Little movement here. They're going to roll out right. Maybe a little pick play. Got a man open. Caught. Touchdown. Maple Mountain.
And we got a little extracurricular activity after the play.
Flags flying.
That was 18 that time with the catch there as everybody just kind of ran the open side, and Morehouse comes up with the touchdown catch. Maple Mountain's first lead.
Maple Mountain takes the lead. Last week they had the lead in the second half against Wasatch. Can they hang on?
I mean, this is what they've done, like we've talked about. This is what they've done all year long, just ugly, gross football that they end up being right there.
But with moments of beauty with Banks Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Let's make sure that's understood. Again, another great bank opportunity for sponsorship. Let's get out to Bingham and Harriman and rejoin Dane Stewart and Moose Bingham.
Second down, Sudbury straight ahead into the teeth of that Harriman defense. Driven back, but they'll credit him with a pair of yards. It'll be 3rd and short here. We talked about some of the offensive contributors for Harriman. We really didn't talk about Sudbury. The year he's had coming into tonight, 5 rushing touchdowns, a young man averaging just over 4 yards a carry. He's been beyond that tonight. He's also thrown the ball a little bit, but they have dabbled here with Boston Singley, the sophomore quarterback. They haven't asked Singley to do too much. It has been the Carson Sudbury show. Do you expect that here on 3rd and 3?
I absolutely do. And Wally Pipp was the first baseman before Lou Gehrig.
Ah.
And we all remember Lou Gehrig playing for the Yankees.
Watched him all the time. Sudbury left side through the first tackler, right at the chain. That should be good to move the sticks for the Miners.
Sometimes you get way beyond the sticks, and sometimes you get just enough to get that first down, and that's what Sudbury did.
No, he's going to be short.
Really?
He needed to get to the yard mark, and I don't think he did.
Did they bring the credit card out?
Well, they did stop the clock here.
Wow, rolling it.
Yeah, now they're going to roll it. They wanted to get that measurement, or they wanted to get a read on the play. It's 4th down and less than a yard, and the offense on the field here for the Miners.
This is a big play for Bingham.
And they're going to try up the middle, first down on the carry. That was Tristan Brimhall with the touch. And I actually like that. You're trying to keep a little gas in the tank for Carson Sudbury, right?
Carson's like, I have done it all for you guys. Tristan, take this one, please. You're all 6 foot.
A little water, just a little bit.
We need Adam Sandler on the sideline, getting him some of that glacial water. Get him something. Keep him hydrated.
H2O.
That's some high quality H2O.
That's what it is, high quality.
Now that's some high quality H2Os.
First down. Sudbury off the field here. And they will look left side once again. The carry here by Swenson. Swenson still on his feet. Chase Swenson inside the 20. The 10 spins out of a tackle. Stretches out to the 1. He's going to be just short. It'll be 1st and goal, Bingham.
All of that work, and it looks like Sudbury may be coming back in.
Look, this is going to be fantasy value for all the Sudbury owners out there.
You know what? For all of you guys that are playing Utah high school fantasy football, Carson Sudbury is a fantastic pickup on your waiver wire this last week. We really should start that. Can you imagine? I would have a blast.
That'd be gold.
I know there's no gambling, but I think the state of Utah would have an ability to do that.
Sudbury not on here. Do you let Swenson finish it? No, it's going to be the sophomore quarterback who plows ahead. Touchdown, Bingham.
Touchdown. Okay, there's the signal. I was waiting for it.
A big run by Swenson sets up the easy touchdown run right there. Hey, I was upset about a 2-4 Bingham being ranked, but hey, 3-4 Bingham, maybe they can be ranked.
Because Harriman's been moving up the polls.
Yep, this would be a big win.
They do, and now let's see if those two conversions come back to hurt them as they'll go for one here. I'm not saying chasing the points.
Yeah.
Right now it's an 8-point game. Just kick the ball and get up 9 in a 2-possession game. But let's go back out to Lone Peak. We'll let you know if he makes it.
A really strong game plan tonight. American Fork defensively only surrendered that one touchdown since they've been lights out. 3rd and long. Staley with time has a man, and he'll be dragged just short of the first down. It looks like he'll be 1 yard short, in fact, and the grab made by Jay Sean Mayberry.
Nice job to jump on the football there as the ball pops out. And then previously, a great job by the offensive line there to pick up the stunt. We talked about Connor Pay earlier in the game. He does a nice job sliding out, providing the blindside protection there for Staley, and it's not going to be a first down.
Yeah, 4th down.
The Knights are going to go up and go for it here.
Yeah, Staley already on it. Going to try the QB sneak. It'll be close. Oh, it looks like the spot is going to give him the first. Nice push by the interior of the Knights' offensive line.
Savvy coaching there from Lone Peak as they got him up and on the line of scrimmage and allowed that giant Lone Peak offensive line to push American Fork back. We got guys pointing in both directions.
Yeah,
so
originally, one of our officials originally was way in front of the sticks and then backed up. Now I think we're gonna have a measurement up here. Wow, Brian, it was close based on Staley initially stood up, kept the legs driving.
I'll tell you, whenever you see that one line judge, I know what JT's talking about because sometimes it converge about a yard different.
Yeah, it's interesting how that works out.
Yeah,
it's almost like different vantage points from different sides of the field lead them to different spots.
It's so crazy.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy how angles work.
No, I'm also, there's been like a whole thing about getting rid of the chain gang stuff. That's nonsense.
It is nonsense.
The chains is great.
We've tried that. We did the measure stick. Yeah, that was awful.
Awful. And everyone's like, in the NFL, they're like, use the chip. Like, no.
Don't use the chip.
No, don't use the chip. But also, everyone always brings up the 3x5 card that Gene Steratore pulled out. First of all, it was doubled up and folded. It wasn't straight.
That's true.
I'm a Raider fan.
I know. And that was hard. It was a hard day.
Flair for the dramatic.
But also,
Gene
we all
Steratore.
remember that. That's why the chain gang is great.
It is. It's awesome. As you see Brighton with not Jack Johnson throwing a touchdown to Mathis.
Pretty play.
That was very pretty. And on the dot, that's the second touchdown of the night.
I get so lost in Brighton's uniforms. I almost forget what's happening because they are the perfect high school football uniform.
Back in the day, we got lost in all the talent. I mean, there was so much talent that's gone through Brighton. All those years with, I'm trying to remember the name of the coach, escaped me, but I know Newt Rockney III was one of the assistants of that team for all those years.
God, they would have looked so good in these uniforms.
They really would have. Reno Mahe, Brian Keel.
Would have been great.
Yeah, all the dudes that went through there. Bryce Haslam
Even
and
more
others.
recently, Simi Fahoko.
Yeah, Simi and
Sione Lund.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've had a lot of Jackson Kafusi was there. They had a lot of great players.
And Isaiah, too.
Isaiah, yeah. All the Kafusis.
Amazing.
Not all.
And all the brothers. There was other ones. Bunch of ooses. Let some ooses go through there, too. But so penalty there, just so you know, the field goal, the point after was good, so Bingham now up 2 scores at 9 points, and they said Lone Peak was short. So it was AF football, AF wearing their East High uniforms, second down and long for the Cavemen as they were in the pistol. Story going to look to throw, fires up the far sideline. The catch is made going out of bounds by Jet Nelson. It'll be 3rd down and 2. This high prolific offense can have a big one against this defense.
This is a big drive for American Fork. The offense just has not been able to get going against this Ryan Denny Lone Peak defense. Can they create some separation and maybe allow themselves to breathe a little bit? It hasn't been the cleanest football game for the Cavemen, but they have an opportunity right here.
All right, send it in. JT Wistersill, 3rd down and 2 for the Cavemen.
Since that early American Fork drive, looking to make the third down stop. Eardley charges ahead and moves the chains.
That's really where Eardley does his best work. Inside the tackles, finding those creases. He's so good downhill. He easily gets the first down there. And listen, Lone Peak's defense, nothing has been easy for the Caveman up until that point. But you're seeing his defense has been out there a lot already, JT. It would really help them to get off the field if they can stop American Fork on this second set of downs. You're giving up a little bit of field position, but the quicker you can get off and get the ball back in your offense's hand, the better it'll be.
1st and 10 from the 37. Story fakes to Eardley, wants Andrews. Andrews makes the grab. Tough coverage on the outside before he's brought down there by Charles Rubel.
He's dropped by C.J. Rubel.
Yeah, nice shot by Rubel there to make the tackle. Bit of a looping throw over there. And
Andrews shaking up.
Yeah, hobbling off the field here, and he looks like he's in a bit of pain there, JT, as he comes off very slowly.
Yeah, some of you who may have just joined our game may be a little surprised at, the undefeated team and the 2-4 team in a close one. Well, that's not doing credit to this Lone Peak team and how tough they've been. Right after this play, I'll tell you a little bit more about their schedule. Story fakes to Eardley. Has Andrews. Throws it. Looked deeper, and it was nearly intercepted. How about Jaden Mayberry? He broke it up, but nearly picked it off.
Yeah, well, 2 already got a pick. Might as well get number 1 involved on that, and was Mayberry gets his hands on it, JT. And you mentioned as we go into third down, it's been a strong schedule for Lone Peak.
Yeah, I mean, they nearly beat Timpview 31-28. They had a late comeback against Corner Canyon where even that one got testy late. And against Pleasant Grove, who's also undefeated, 24-19. They still got games against Skyridge and Lehigh and Westlake, but this is a team capable of getting hot and making noise come playoff time. 3rd and 5 with 4:53 to go. Story given a pocket, thinking about running for it, throws to Eardley. I think Story might have been past the line.
I don't know if he was past the line, JT, but this one looks like it's in the area of holding to me, as there was a Lone Peak defender that found his way to the turf. Assisted, maybe we'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one's going to come back, unfortunately, for American Fork, as that was a great job of Story to evade the pressure and get the ball out to Eardley in the flat. But, again, that penalty will be, I believe, 10 yards either from the line of scrimmage. Okay.
Yeah. Good awareness by you to correct me on that one. Story, he was so frustrated after I thought maybe it stepped over. He's just had a good enough IQ to also notice and see that his offensive line had held as soon. Really tough break that time. Sets up 3rd and 14. Lone Peak's defense has continued to be lights out. If it wasn't for the punting error, this one would be tied. Story, 4-man rush. Steps up, looks downfield, slings it. Andrews hauls it in, but is met instantly as the Knights drive him back, jousting him.
Yeah, there wasn't much of a joust on that one. It was all the Knights secondary driving Davis Edwards back, and not a lot of plays in the playbook for 3rd and 24, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, 3rd and forever, basically.
For the Knights.
Staley looking to make something happen. Last time he was in 3rd and 20 plus. They did nearly get a first down. We'll see what Staley's able to do here. The quick throw, Robinson on the outside. Does a good job scampering down the sideline, but was pushed out of bounds. Still going to be 3rd and long. Knights are going to be forced upon it.
Well, he's just so good at evading defenders, and once he does, so quick down the sideline. If you don't have the unfortunate fumble on first down, he really would have given you a great opportunity to pick that one up, JT. Again, 3rd and out for Lone Peak. Not the situation that they want to be in, down 14-7. However, after the early miscue.
Miscues here. Punting unit coming on for Lone Peak. Let's take you out, Harriman and Bingham. It is 1st and 35 for Ta'a and the offense as they go quick screen, gets them the yards back. They got a lot of it back, but still deep in the hole at their own 47-yard line. 1st and 35, that's the first one for me.
Yeah, I mean, what is that, a holding and then a personal foul?
Yeah, I mean, I even did like a Long Beach Poly game against Bishop Gorman where they had 25 penalties, I think it was, 25 or 30 penalties. No joke, I'm not even inflating the number. So let's send it in. Dane Stewart and Moose Bingham as Harriman at their own 47-yard line, 2nd down and forever.
yards receiving and 6 receiving touchdowns. But, man, when you see it, you're like, that kid is so good. Speaking of so good, you go from 1st and 35 to 3rd and 3 in 2 plays.
What I loved about that play, Ty using his big old football brain, using the ref as an extra blocker. Elite move right there.
Yes, sir. Part of the field, man. Why not, huh?
The ref is probably like, hey, young man, I'm not your blocker. You see, I'm a zebra, not a blocker for you next time.
3rd and short. You get this. This might be the best 3 downs in, well, we've seen it in quite some time. Ty's going to pick it up. Freddie Ty still on the run to the 23, and they go from 1st and 35, and they'll move the sticks.
And for your bingo card, all of you guys out there that had Harriman's going to get the first down with 35 to go, congratulations. That was an amazing series.
You know, and let's talk about the play calling.
Yeah.
Most coaches in that situation, draw, screen, punt. Not Harriman.
No.
Like, look, down the field, run like, hey, we're going for it. Love
and
it.
To end it with a quarterback run that gets you in field goal range.
First down, empty backfield. Freddie, quick throw. Hansen able to corral it. Makes one man miss. Has blockers in front. Hansen inside the 5. Touchdown, Harriman.
My goodness gracious. Is that Chase Hansen or Caden? Caden getting all the moves down, finding his blockers, not reading them super well, but getting in the end zone nonetheless. You'll love to see it. Caden Hansen making a name for himself and then some.
What a drive. Capped off from 23 yards out. The point after. The kick is up.
From 1st and 35 to a touchdown, Jeff.
That's because they got the ball to a Hansen, and that's what happens when Hansen's touch the ball. Good things. Caden Hansen showed some burst on that play to get into the end zone. What a touchdown.
I think if we did a Hansen combination and mentioned a bank in it, I mean, it's sitting right there. Let's get back out to Maple Mountain. Orem with the football down 17-7.
One, good route, good look, but.
And Jackson Sanders was open. The ball was off his fingertips. So I think if we're looking at the pie chart of accountability, 50% on Engelman for throwing that a little too, not having the right touch and having a little outside, and Sanders 50% for not coming down with it. And if they make that catch, Sanders probably gets the first down. Instead, it's 3rd and 9 and 10 minutes and 12 seconds to go here. Orem desperately wants to pick this up and avoid having to punt.
3 men out to the left, wide. And it's another interception. This one might go to the house, and it will. That is intercepted by Tiger Hakes, the Tiger Killer tonight.
Tiger Hakes with back-to-back INT. This one's a house call.
The Tiger Killer. That's a huge pick 6 right there. Creates some separation in that game. P.A.T. Penny could be 24-7. That's a big, big score.
That's just a linebacker reading the eyes of the quarterback that took him right into his hook. You run that his little zone. You're going into your hook and flats. He led him right to that pick, and Tiger with the interception.
Yeah, 24-7. Orem finding themselves in some problems. They have not been able to get that offense going. Now they really got to get going.
They've got to find Celia Ponga. Let's take you back to Harriman. Bingham with the football after that touchdown drive from Harriman.
If you're Orem, because
it's good for 3 points a game. So, come on.
Are you out there doing a hook?
I got the sidewinder going.
Oh, gosh.
First down for Bingham. Drive starting at their 20. Sudbury looking right side, has a block. Sudbury in the open field. Carson Sudbury. Stop me if you heard this before. To the 20, the 10, 5, touchdown Bingham on an 80-yard touchdown run for Sudbury.
I'm sure you guys wonder why I call him Mr. Clean. It's because of the back of his jersey. That's all you see, and it is so clean. We hear the Bingham coaches saying, boom shakalaka. With Carson Sudbury, you can do that. My goodness gracious. Carson Sudbury, have yourself a night.
That's the 3rd Bingham touchdown of 80 yards or greater tonight. It's the second 80-yard touchdown that Sudbury has been involved.
Someone needs to tell Moose that they're playing on turf. All of the jerseys are clean,
All are
Moose.
clean.
Every single one of them.
Unless you get smushed beads all over your jersey.
There's not a grass stain in the stadium. Even the toddlers don't have grass stains out there at Harriman tonight. Come on, Moose.
Harder time cleaning out baseball pants than you do taking care of football jerseys and grass stains these days.
It's true.
Good grief, Moose. Kickers. And they want us to talk about them more. How about Carson Sudbury, though? I think Fred Fernandez knows how to scheme an offense when you have an athlete at quarterback that hasn't played quarterback. His name is Parker Kingston.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of success at Roy that year when Jackson Dart went to Corner Canyon.
Yeah, and you saw right there, Carson Sudbury, when he gets a little bit of space, that's all he needs. A little bit of space, he's a home run waiting to happen.
Absolutely. We're going to take you back out to Lone Peak, beginning of the fourth quarter. Oh, we're going to go to break. We're at the top of the hour. Then we'll get you back out to Lone Peak. Yeah, we do. All right, top of the hour. We'll be right back. Kenzie Valentine will be back with a scoreboard update. You're watching and listening to KSL Sports Rewind's Friday Night Red Zone on KSLSports.com, the KSL Plus app, and on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
One of the better defensive backs in the state. That is such a tough matchup, one-on-one coverage against Trey Robinson. And you see it right there. He's able to get the first down, able to drag him, and whether it's getting loose and shake a defender, speed past them, or drag them for the first down, Robinson is just putting on a show tonight.
Mentioned those 4 pick sixes for Lone Peak against Highland. Even last week, they had an interception and a big 95-yard kickoff return from Trey Robinson. The special teams, the defenses have been doing their parts for the Knights, and now it's time for the offense to step up with 11:18 to go. Off the first down, they give it to Wild. Wild runs hard, gains 3.
About sums it up with that one as he was wilding out of the backfield and then ran into the teeth of that American Fork defense. And we mentioned Ryan Takai and Waki Fuilongi. You don't want to run into 2 tons of fun because they ain't want none.
What's been the difference for Lone Peak on this drive?
I think they've gotten a little bit more into the run game and found some success there. And really the big difference is the completion of Trey Robinson. That was a big play that moved the ball down the field.
Both defenses have been on the field a lot. Got to wonder if they'll start wearing down. Staley wants Robinson deep. He made the grab. Was he in bounds? He was not.
Highlight level. That would have been a top 5 for sure type grab. Just a few yards out of bounds on that one. And boy, what a beautiful ball by Staley. Just a little too much on it. But man, compose in the pocket, find the right guy. If you're American Fork, I know it's cold out, JT, but you're probably wiping the sweat off your brow.
10:29 to go in this one. 3rd and 8 for Lone Peak. Got to imagine they're going to go for it on 4th if it comes to it with the level their defense has competed at. Staley, 3-man rush. He's got time. Wants Robinson, throws it too high.
Yeah, that's a tough throw. Staley kind of, you can tell by his reaction, just he realizes that's one that he wishes he could do over again because it's one of those layered throws that you have to try and drop in there into your target. And it looks like Lone Peak is going to try and kick a field goal here. And I'm going to be honest with you, JT, this one might get a little risky because the wind is whipping pretty good. So they are kicking into the teeth of the wind here from the near hash.
The wind has been beating me up all game long. We'll see what it does to this ball. Connors, the field goal, nearly blocked. It's up. It's good. Lone Peak scores the first touchdown, or excuse me, the first field goal of the second half. The Knights, 10-14, the difference. You're watching KSL Sports Rewind.
At the 16. This is the carry. Looking back right side. Bingham wrapping up and brought down at the 10 on the carry there by Isaac Larson.
Larson with the carry.
Man. The cool thing about this Harriman team,
Welcome back to KSL Sports Rewind Red Zone. I'm Kenzie Valentine with some more scoreboard updates for the night, starting with Springville at Wasatch. Springville is now up 21 27-6 with 7 minutes left in the third quarter. Duchesne is now up on Gunnison Valley 20-14 with 2 minutes left in the third. Skyridge at Lehigh. Skyridge intercepted coming out of the half, then had a 6-yard rushing touchdown to make them up 28-10. Now let's go to Bingham at Harriman. Sorry, I'm not from Utah, and all the jokes are coming back to me, but...
Tough, but although we might
Be a big old jerk.
I'll tell you what, though. 6'4", 200 pounds as a freshman tight end? Yes, please.
The freshmen in this state have been impressing me left and right.
First and goal. Here's Ty. Bingham showing pressure. Ty gonna keep this himself. Looking for a block, tucks inside, stretching ahead. Touchdown, Harriman.
Wow. Harriman has done a great job getting down and getting into the end zone. They do it in a plethora of ways, through the air, on the ground, finding ways to just make this happen and making it back to a 3, possibly 2-point game. Who would have thought that the beginning series, that 2-point conversion
This has to be, I'm going to confirm this here momentarily, the highest scoring Bingham Harriman game of all time.
It has to be. There's still a minute and a half left in the third quarter, and we're already at 78 total points.
I'm pretty sure we could lump in like 5 years of games combined
Yeah.
and not have as many points.
From like 2015 to 2021, I know these two teams didn't score that many points.
I will go back. I'll have the total for you momentarily. Let's take you back to Brighton as East get another big play. It's Brighton still leading 21-14. Jack Johnson had a knee injury, and we haven't seen him come back in the game. So be big for this Brighton defense to hold the East offense at bay.
Yeah, gutted for Jack. I mean, we don't know what the severity of that injury is, but anytime you lose a guy like that's tough.
All right, let's jump out to JJ and Alex Curie out of Brighton.
Doesn't see anything coming. And Jarrett, how many times this happened tonight? This is on the that guy's not making the play.
Yeah.
So you don't need to make that crack block on a guy who's actually behind the wide receiver. You are going to get the same amount of yards picked up. You didn't need to send a message by putting your helmet on somebody. And I do think it's going to be a spot foul though, and so it's not going to be, the killer that it is, but it is a 15-yard penalty.
Let's see how it all shakes out, but that is a huge setback for Easton. An unnecessary play.
So they're going to replay third down, but it's probably still going to be, third and double digits or at least close. Now this is still manageable, Jer. They basically go back to the original line of scrimmage here. So a little bit no harm, no foul. But the big harm was you don't get that big pickup. That was a huge conversion that got taken.
So essentially you're just starting over here. 3rd and 5. Crosby going to roll to his right, throws deep, takes a shot. It's not there. No flag.
Yeah, East isn't going to be happy with that.
They are not.
What you're going to do, too, as a fan, is you're going to get upset and you're going to say, hey, you're going to get all sorts of upset and you're going to say, here's the thing. You're supposed to turn around and make a play on the ball. That's more of an NFL rule, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so there was a lot of hand battling back and forth you can see on the replay.
Andrew Wood on the coverage.
It just felt like it wasn't enough.
Now the East sideline is very upset about that. What do we have going on here?
Yeah, it's a mess, and Coach Matic wants an explanation on what's going on, but, they don't review that stuff. They don't go back and say, sorry, we missed it. And it was close enough that it was just not going to get called. It wasn't as obvious as everybody on the East sideline wants to think that it was.
So it's 4th down with 6:59 to play. Coach Matic still communicating with the officials. I wonder if he wanted a first down on the...
Right, and then after the play, the problem is, and here's why. Here's why it's not going. Play was not over. You don't tack it on to the end of the run because
it happened during the play. I know he wants an explanation. And even going back 2 plays, you're never going to get – I guess you might feel good about having a little conference at the field to have him explain the rules, but – yeah, that's mid-play. It's not going to be. And again, this is 2 plays ago that we're getting the complaints on here, too. Plenty of time. Kick it away, and let's go back to work on defense. If you're East, that's what you tell your guys. Yeah, when you stop play for that long, too, it's never fun because these kids are just wanting to play.
Yeah.
And when you have to explain to everybody else on the field what happened, never fun for these guys. And it's always a hard explanation, too, because the players are wondering, did we get shorted on something?
So East will punt. Otukolo will do it again. Wismer back to receive. Wismer's just going to let it bounce again. That takes a huge East bounce inside the 40 to the 39-yard line.
Really good punt.
Excellent punt.
You know what that is Donovan Wismer being told on the sideline, hey, quit trying to be a hero on catching that one in the air, because that's how you muff the football. So he played it safe by not even getting anywhere near it.
Brighton going conservative on special teams. You can understand why in this circumstance. They're up a touchdown with 6:46 to play. I think Brighton knows their defense can win this game for them right now. They're going to trust that.
Jared, you're getting some folks out here who want you to make some explanations here. How dare you?
I got nothing.
Well, you don't. Hey, pick up that flag.
People looking at me
Jeremiah.
right now. So I got nothing. I
want pass interference. I want you to pick up that flag. It's Jeremiah Jensen.
I'm going to say, I'm going to tell you what's happening in this game. I'm not going to try to put the zebra outfit on.
Look,
sorry.
Good luck getting out this door tonight after the game, Jeremiah. I can't believe you threw that
flag. We're going to have a 30, 45-minute post-game show here in the booth. 6:46 to play. Such an important region.
So we'll come back here. Let's take you quickly back to Lone Peak, where the Lone Peak defense has been standing on its head.
4 to go. Lone Peak looking to get the ball back. Blitz up the middle. It's picked up. Story Andrews. It's intercepted. A pick taken away that time and into the end zone for the leading touchdown by Matthias Nawahine.
Matthias Nawahine saw it the whole way, stares down the ball. When his moment comes, he's there to capitalize, and he's off to the races for a touchdown. And it is pandemonium here at Knight Stadium, JT, as Lone Peak takes the lead 16-14, pending a PAT.
Just the 4th interception of the season for Story. He came into this one with only 2. It's been picked off twice tonight. The devastating pick 6 leads to American Fork trailing.
The pick 6 by Nawahine. Dylan Story, he's seeing Bot Mulitalo every time he drops back.
Junior Tahi was coming,
Holy cow, that Lone Peak defensive front has been all over the American Fork backfield, and I have to think that played a role in the really poor decision to throw that ball by Story. Nawahine takes advantage of his opportunity.
Curious to see if Coach Beam comes back with the running game. It's heavy into the running game when they get the ball back to see if they can kind of settle things in.
Right.
If you're going to give Ryan Denny chances to just blitz you and come at you, well, you're going to have this
It's gonna
a
be
lot
a long
tonight.
night.
How about this note? That is the 6th defensive touchdown for Lone Peak in the last 3 games, and I believe the 5th pick 6 in the last 3 games. They had 7 interceptions when they went to Arizona. They had 7 interceptions, 4 of them were returned for touchdowns. Nawahine had 1 of them.
Still a young defense, too.
Yeah.
When you look at it, the Mayberries, Mulitalo, I mean, that's a young defense.
And you're just going to give Ryan Denny just more and more guys to sit in that. Yeah, it's going to be really, really good. And on that, they're young. Staley's still young. Staley's only a junior. They can have another year coming back next year as well.
Feels like Reggie time. Does it feel like Reggie time?
It does feel like Reggie. Frisch neck. All right, it's first down. I've never seen this. First down and 4. The refs are trying to figure things out there at Templer
Field. That's a football
Field.
down, regular football number.
Yeah, the refs are going to try to figure this out of Templer Field. So let's take you now into Bingham Harriman. Hey, this is a touchdown waiting to happen. Let's jump in. Sudbury lining up at quarterback.
Saying
situation. You're like, you want me to play tonight?
Right.
I remember my sophomore season, the senior got hurt and the junior got hurt. And I went into the coach's office. I'm like, so am I starting or what's the plan? He's like, oh, yeah, get a jersey. Let's go.
First down here for Bingham. Direct snap. Sudbury looking right side. And he'll just dive ahead and pick up a couple. You see some of those blocks. It continues to be a little chippy out there.
Oh, it's beyond chippy. Tostitos, crumble, chip, dirty dough. All you guys better get over here quick.
They're going to say just a pickup of 3 on that carry.
I do like sun chips as well if anyone wants to bring those up.
I'm not going to lie. That's very
We're
underrated.
going to keep our eye here. Actually, let's roll through this play. We're going to take you to Manti. Manti is first and goal at the 4-yard line, looking to put away the big game in 3A, but there's a flag on that play as Bingham going to run the dive. It'll be third down and about 4 as they get down to the 34-yard line. And they have so many guys they've rotated through at that Bingham team that it goes back to week 1. I don't think many of those guys are playing tonight.
Yeah, a lot of injuries. Moose talked about injuries. He brought up that he was a starting kicker. Kickers don't start. You're not a starting kicker.
Let's take it honest. He went into Les Hamilton's office, who had just won 2 state championships. Actually, his sophomore year, he just won 1 state championship, going into his second one. Am I starting to kick tonight, coach?
That's exactly how it went.
And I can tell you that because I interviewed Moose when he was in high school.
Great kicker. All due respect to Moose.
Clutch. I mean, he kicked a region-winning field goal his sophomore year and his senior year.
Hell yeah.
Because I was at both of them.
As far as kickers go, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he was. Terrific.
Yeah.
And I called him Vance just to get at him because they're like, his nickname's Moose. I'm like, nah, I'm going to call him Vance. I'm going to do him a solid. We'll call him Vance. But let's take you back. They did back him up, so not in first and goal situation out of Manti. Here is another interception for the Lone Peak defense, and it's Mayberry again.
Who else? Mayberry, man. He's all over the field from that safety spot.
My goodness.
He's a special player, and it's time to start paying more attention to him as a next-level player.
Absolutely. Get on that train early, coaches. As, we were asking for it. We got it. Let's see. Well, they showed the replay. Frischneck just had the catch, put him back inside the 5-yard line. First and goal. Let's send you out to Manti.
Again, just like he did last time, down inside at the 3-yard line. He's going to follow his blockers again. Is he going to get into the end zone? And they're saying, I think the players all think he's in. Oh, they don't call him in. Mason Starkweather thought he was in.
Yeah. Watch on this formation. As you see the linemen, they have their feet touching. We call that toe-to-toe.
Wow.
Typically, you don't line up that tight. This time, they're coming up to the line of scrimmage again.
And he got lost in that, in that little mass of humanity down there, but it looked like he was in from here. But we'll watch this one. They'll go under center again. They'll follow again. That time, it's for sure. He's in. Touchdown, Templars, Mason Starkweather.
Now, here comes the cannon again as Manti scored another touchdown. They have missed their opportunities to score after their touchdowns on the previous 2. What are they going to do?
I feel a little better that Manti's going to put up 40 points on Canyon View, who's been outstanding this year, because they put 64 points up on my Dinos last week in the first half.
Yeah, that was bad. That was a bad week for the Jeff and Dusty.
There's our nickname, the Juffy.
The Juffy
Welcome
Show.
back in, Juffy here.
Juffy Bowl. We'll do a score update on the Juffy Bowl coming up.
Which CHS has scored the least amount of points this year? Let's take you back out to Brighton and East. Brighton with the football, still down 21-14 in the fourth quarter. 3rd and 18, now 4th and 18. It's going to be 3rd down and 3, pass interference penalty. Let's take you back to Bingham and Harriman, and then we'll get you back out to the East-West field.
When you watch that replay, ball's a little bit over the head of the intended receiver. But what you're really seeing here is that their feet get locked up, and so when a guy goes down,
and it reels off for 12 yards and a first.
Just slipped right through his fingers. Great penetration. Great job by Harriman right there. But Bingham showed fortitude, showed they could get there, and now they're on 1st and goal.
That was Brimhall with the carry on 4th down. Boy, I really like how they've mixed up the run game, Moose.
Absolutely.
To start, it was all Sudbury. You've seen Brimhall, Swenson get more touches. Been a good mix.
Brimhall, Swenson, and Sudbury, all of them have been great, and they all bring something a little bit different.
First and goal. This is Brimhall again. Through the middle. Touchdown, Bingham. Tristan Brimhall from 10 yards out.
Man, 7 minutes left, too. Bingham flexing their muscles like we didn't expect. For real, going into this game, we were talking about it. I said I could see like 37, 31, something like that. Lots of field goals. But no.
On a night where Ronald Acuna officially joins the 40-40 club, it feels fitting that Harriman's going to get the ball back with a chance to score 40 points for the first time in this series history. Both teams would be over 40. It's a 40-40 kind of night for Braves fans like you and me, Dusty, and for Bingham and Harriman.
You and me. The first 40-40 man?
Ronald Acuna. I don't care who else.
Jose Canseco.
I know it was Jose. I know Bonds
Well, you
did
didn't
it.
answer
I know
it.
A-Rod.
I
I
said
know all
first.
those
I
guys
just wanna
did
know
it.
first.
Alfonso Soriano.
First.
It doesn't matter. Ronald Acuna is the only one who matters.
Sure. Let's go back out to Lone Peak. AF with the football. 3rd down and 2. This Lone Peak defense has been spectacular, but can AF run for the first down here? I expect them early and often here on 3rd and 2.
American Forks offense has been so potent rushing the ball this season. Erdley has 3 games over 100 yards rushing. They reset the play clock. A lot of time left if you are the Cavemen. Lone Peak loading up with bodies on the line of scrimmage. Story, the quick throw. Andrus makes the grab, gets the first.
Yeah, nice job. Just a simple out route, easy throw. Let Andrus use his big body, shield himself from the defender, get the first down. Clock stops. They'll set the chains, and then American Forks has got plenty of time. In fact, I don't know that they necessarily, because it looks like the left tackle there's a little bit offsides. There we go, buddy. I don't know that they need to go no huddle here, JT. I don't think you want to give the ball back to Lone Peak.
Story, we'll have a false start on American Fork, I believe.
Mistakes in critical situations, just killer. You work so hard to get that first down, and now you put yourself in the hole. It's still first down, so you still got plenty of opportunities to convert this one, but now you're operating at 1st and 15, and if you're American Fork, all those yards right now are critical.
Lone Peak's defense has been so formidable, but we know what Jet Nelson can do. We know what Davis Andrews can do. We know what Josh Andrus can do, and Story capable of making the big play. 1st and 15 from the 44, but no down and distance is safe with this American Fork offense. Story gets leveled. Ball is out. Cavemen get back on top of it. Erdley makes the grab.
Sigh of, I don't know, even no relief, but just almost exasperation of the Cavemen as they're able to get the ball back. But this is a massive loss, JT, and you said it. Just this fanatical effort from the Lone Peak defensive line is tearing apart this American Fork offensive line. Now they're 2nd and, oh boy, it looks like Draper to me.
2nd and 25. 4-man rush. They bring the blitz to the outside. Erdley can't make the grab. Good pressure applied in tight coverage. The Knights defense continues to level up.
Nice job by number 8, Junior Tahi, coming from the linebacker position to smother that up and give Erdley no opportunity to even catch the ball. Even if he had, he wasn't getting enough yards to put him back to where they need to be, JT. It is 3rd and 25 with 2:24 left.
From the 34, got whistles. I'm not sure what's going on. I didn't see a signal for a timeout.
Timeout. Lone Peak here, it looks like, as the side judge comes in. We'll take that.
Timeout here is this defense. Jeff, they just bring the heat.
Holy cow. Dylan Story, I'm impressed he's standing up still. He got walloped on that play.
All right, let's take you back out to East and Brighton. East 1st and 10 on the Brighton side of the field at the 43-yard line. Just complete a short little pass. Going to put him at the 35. This East offense, they've had their moments. They scored early in this ball game, 52 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and trying to drive to tie this game to send it to overtime.
Yeah, I mean, they have to do this through the air with the clock running the way that it is. This is not what East is known for.
I heard they are amazing at 7-on-7. This is the year they're going to throw the football.
That's what I hear.
Every year.
Every year I hear.
Well, timeout right now at East. We'll go back out there for this second down and 2. And not only that, the game-winning drive is we'll send you back to Harriman and Bingham, as this is just a touchdown waiting to happen in this game. But we have good ones here. We'll also get back out to Lone Peak and American Fork, 17-14 that game. AF just getting ball back. Can I give you a shocking score? Weber and Syracuse. Midway through the fourth quarter, Weber leading Syracuse 27-6.
Wow.
Or sorry, 27-26.
Yeah. Syracuse, I mean, that's been the dominant team up north. Maybe them and Davis. Weber, they figured it out. Catch Carne has looked great.
Potholes in the collision courses. East looking to throw. Going to run. Nice job by the Brighton defense. This Casey's Terra defense makes a nice play. Imagine, Matic going to take a timeout. No, they're going to keep running it. Let's send you in to JJ and Alex Curie.
They still have 2 left.
Yeah, you got to have a couple plays in your
They're
pocket.
going to kill the clock. But precious time is running out while he does. So 40 seconds left.
You know, you got the first, and so that's okay. That's an okay way to do it. But again, you're staying basically between the hashes, and then you're asking your guys to get up to the line and get ready for that. Boy, I tell you, how close is Easton Adamson to getting that sack on that one?
Wow.
That could have been a game ender right there. He just a smidge away.
Missed. All right, here we go. So they saved the timeout. He still has 2 timeouts left. 40 seconds. Damian Crosby. He was a starter at West Jordan last year. He has experience. Gonna roll. Oh, he's in trouble.
Yeah.
And that time it was Miller that got to him.
Yeah, and Miller puts a little bit of a mitt on that, at least his arm. You didn't get the full throw on that one by Crosby because you had that big 54 putting up that mitt. He either batted it down or he got the arm a little bit. You could just tell that throwing motion was absolutely blasted there.
We've been giving Adamson a lot of love and for good reason, but
Miller's a beast.
Caleb Miller has been a beast tonight inside.
Yeah, and that's what you do. You have the edge rusher. Then you got those big guys who are getting their hands up trying to knock some balls down. And it's a mess when you're trying to focus so much on 91, 54 will get you.
All right, 3rd and 10. Crosby taking a shot to the right. Odekolu. Oh, he was there. Looking for a call he's not going to get.
No, he got it.
Did they throw the flag?
Flag in the back of the end zone.
There it is, okay.
He got it. That ref thought about it for a second, and he threw it down. And that's going to be your 15-yarder there. I don't think, this isn't one where they put it down on the 2, but it is going to be
not in high school.
A good chunk where you're going to get down there. You're going to get down to the 15-yard line, and you're going to have 30 seconds left and still 2 timeouts.
Yeah. So a huge call there.
Yeah.
Odekolu draws the penalty.
Okay.
And yes, the ball's marked at the 16-yard line. 27 seconds left.
Okay, you don't have to throw every down, Jared.
No.
You've got 2 timeouts. You do well here to maybe do that draw play. But something. Oh, boy. I counted him up. Another illegal substitution, I bet.
Oh, wow.
East broke the huddle with 12.
15.
East
broke
the huddle with 12 again.
It's going to be 1st and 15 is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
With 27 seconds left. So that changes things a little bit offensively.
So you've got a coach on the sideline who counts everybody up, right? And that's who Coach Mattis just turned to just now and just said, what are we doing? There's 2 of those within the last 5 minutes.
That's been a killer. Trips to his left. Crosby takes the snap. Looks to the end zone, takes a shot. Nobody's there.
Nope.
So he throws it away.
Yeah, he was under pressure. And he took a big hit right there.
We have something. The officials are talking about something. A whistle blew.
They are going to discuss something here.
Pressure by Caleb Miller.
Hey, pressure by Caleb Miller again. So these Brighton defenders, the edge rushers, the state sack leader, Ethan Adamson. This is one you absolutely have a buffet because you know what's coming the next 2 plays.
Second and 15. 22 seconds left. East down 21-14.
Oh, my heavens.
And now,
another
Brighton.
whistle.
What do we have?
So this side judge, something's going on with this side judge. He doesn't. He wanted to make sure that they were on the right down. He blew the whistle to say they declined it. So it's second or third down, and the white hat came over and said, "I appreciate the attention to detail. It's still second down."
Okay, here we go. 22 seconds left. Second and 15. Down 7. Crosby takes a shot over the middle. The catch is made. Close down to the 1.
They got to get up. They got to get up.
The clock runs unless they call a timeout.
They called their timeout. They're okay. They got 15 seconds, and they are at the 1-foot line, Jeremiah.
Timmy Tao. We haven't heard from Timmy Tao all game. And boom, there he is.
Yeah, let me tell you.
And he gets right to the 1-yard line.
He put this ball right on the money. Crosby, the guy, I mean, that's a big league throw because he actually makes that throw before he's made the break. And so you end up coming and you turn and you make that catch. Right when you make the turn, you have to have that.
You know, I don't want to be overly critical. I know Casey and love Casey. You know what makes that a little different? You accept the penalty the play before.
Yeah, I'm still trying to wrap my head around why that penalty would be declined in that situation. Unless it's fourth down, I mean, I don't know. So
and who cares if they replay the down because you're working on the clock? It was 22 seconds.
20 seconds left. That one was confusing to me.
So we're going to pull in. We pulled in Alta and Olympus. Jeff and I will probably call that one from here. At 1:08 left. That game tied at 21. Olympus at the Alta 44, looking to take the lead late in that game. East at the 1-yard line. First down and goal with 15 seconds left. And Casey Soterra going to burn another timeout. He wanted to see the alignment. Well, Casey, I'll tell you the alignment is. It's a run alignment.
Yeah, we know. We know what this one's going to be. While we have the timeout here, let's update on the Juffy Bowl.
Okay.
Because we do have an update.
Okay.
My Falcons, they scored 14 points. They pitched a shutout in the second half.
Hey, look at that.
67-14.
Okay.
Your Dinos.
Oh, no.
Your Dinos only put up 3 points. But
we have a kicker?
But they lose 51-3. You get the Juffy Bowl win today.
Hey!
We scored more, and that feels important. But you get the Juffy Bowl win today.
Since Brady Martinez was our quarterback and kicker in 2000. I don't know. Jan Jorgensen was the deep snapper.
Do we get a fight song sing? I mean, you won this game.
Cheer for Carbon. Carbon will kind of win.
Yeah, sort of. They'll beat Jeff.
All right, first and goal, 15.6 seconds left. East and Brighton.
Here we go.
I think we're going to see.
One.
We'll be here with JJ.
Tries to sneak it in. It's a touchdown.
You got it.
With 12 seconds left. Now the question we asked at the start of the drive. Go for 2 or the extra point?
Look down at Maddich. See what
Brandon Maddich is talking to his staff right now. He's trying to make a decision.
They're all bunched around. They're looking. Let's see it from Maddich.
He's going for 2.
No, wait, what?
What has he got? What's he got? He's calling timeout. Okay. He initially put the fingers up, and then he called timeout.
Yeah, he went 2, then he said 1, and then he said, no, let's call it timeout.
Okay, they're going to talk this over. Here's another look at the sneak.
Boy, that's a battle underneath in that trench, isn't it?
Oh, boy. These are two great teams on the line of scrimmage.
He needed about 4 inches, and he got 4.5.
Yeah.
And, kudos to Brighton's D-line. I mean, they were right there, but Crosby just able to inch that thing over. That's all you need, just the tip of the football over the tip of the white line.
Oh, the drama. What a game. 12.8 seconds left. East making a decision right now. Called timeout. It looks like they're going for 2. Crosby's in the huddle right now on the sideline. They're coming up with something.
Look, this is a little bit of your season.
This is huge for East.
Brighton is rolling right now in region play. East needs this W, and that's where a 2-point conversion decision like this is coming from. Go to overtime and let Brighton have the football back? I don't think so, says Brandon Maddich.
Down 1, East is going for 2 and the win. Crosby under center. 3 running backs in the backfield. They go heavy. They go into the end zone.
He got it.
Where are they going to mark it? Where's the signal?
Oh, they may have called him short, Jeremiah. This side judge, who is the one who will make the call, is sitting short.
We're still waiting.
We haven't gotten a signal yet. This is intense.
They're talking it over.
I mean, the players are going.
No good!
Wow.
The Bengals hold!
Wow. That is ridiculous.
Inches short.
Wow.
This game decided by inches.
Jeremiah, we thought it was in from up here. When you say they went heavy, your big man, Coach Madich is about to get tossed out of this football game. They've already got a flag because one of the players from East threw his helmet down on the ground after the play. But you don't usually get a coach in the middle of the field with the arguments happening, but he's about as fired up as one could be, and you kind of can't blame him. It looked like the push was made, and this near side line judge, who's the one who's going to make that call, that side judge over here, he looked and he said, I didn't see it go in, here we are.
They're showing the replay up on the Jumbotron here right now. It's just so tough to tell in that massive humanity.
The problem is you can't tell.
Where is he down?
Yeah, the real problem is I mean, I feel awful for East because right now the entire crowd and all of the players are on the field and they're pointing at the replay officials in the booth and they're looking to the Jumbotron.
They just turned the Jumbotron off.
There's no version of a replay, so it's not really it's not really worth it.
Right, but that's interesting.
But the TV is off. You're exactly
just
right.
Turn the TV off at Brighton High
Brighton
School.
has seen enough of this game. Jeez.
Oh, technical difficulties.
This is what your dad would do when it wasn't going the way for his team, right? No, thank you.
We could not tell from here where we're standing.
No,
we don't have an angle on
No,
that.
we don't. I think because
you saw the angle we had. It's tough to tell where he's down, where the ball is at. Here's another look.
Right, and our crew, look at this shot. Our crew did a fantastic job. You got about as good of a shot as you could get.
Well, sorry, we're talking right there. We might be able to bounce that back and get one more look. I mean, that is really, really close. We saw from the beginning that line judge near side, and this is usually where I side with officials. How quickly do you mark it?
He did not hesitate.
At all.
At all. I mean, he was sure that ball was short.
Oh, we're up against the break. We're going to take it. Well, let's show the onside kick first because the onside kick will seal this. And we're going to go through some crazy finishes. Tonight's been the night. Is that high bounce is going to go, it's knocked the ball out of bounds. They do.
Smart play.
So procedure penalty, and it'll be Brighton football. So we're up against the break. We'll get through all the endings right here on KSL Sports Rewind's Friday Night Red Zone. You're watching us on KSLSports.com. You get one more look at that play. Yeah, that's close. That's crazy. You're watching us on KSLSports.com, the KSL Plus app, listening to us on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We'll come back, Kenzie Valentine, with the scoreboard update. Then Jeff and I will go through the crazy finishes we've got in Week 7.
That's what they see in the post play of where the ball's at, of how to do it. If you didn't see the arms shoot up at the very beginning, then every second that goes by, it's to the advantage of the defense because then the referees are trying to make a decision. Yeah. And when you make a call that late, it almost always goes the direction of they didn't make it in because it's hard to put those hands up in the air that late in the process. I mean, this is a fired-up situation right here, and it's a bummer for Coach Madich and his team because
they fought so hard tonight. I mean, they really did.
Yeah, and it's a gutsy call. It's the gamble that you make.
I love the call. That's the right. It's the right decision. The decision's correct.
Yeah.
It comes down to that one play, and the referee's going to make a decision.
Yeah, this is a tough one. And if you're the East coaches, you've got to tell your players not to talk to the ref anymore because that's kind of what we've gotten to right here. And it could get out of hand here real quick. I mean, all they're trying to do is snap the ball one time. Yeah, they took. Looks like they took the delay. Not exactly sure where they ended up spotting this football. Oh, they're going. Yeah, interesting.
Victory formation for Brighton. They kneel it out, and the clock will expire. What a ball game tonight.
No, it was a fun one.
It came down to the final play. and it came down to inches.
Yeah.
Brighton's going to walk away a winner tonight.
Yeah, and it could have easily gone the other way, and that's the hard part, right? When the decision isn't made by the kids, it's made by the referees, and they have the tough decision of having to make that call, right? And so that's a bad deal, but and to Coach Matich's credit, he's telling his players, you better get in that handshake line. This is not what we're about. You go get in the handshake line. This Brighton team played a heck of a football game, and if you're upset about a call, you can't be upset with how these guys played, because they played without their star player at quarterback. They went in there and they punched you in the mouth.
Well, let me say this about East tonight. This is a positive for them tonight. It really is.
Through realizing they got their hands up. Jensen able to still throw around him, make the completion, and the blocking scheme allowing to set up for that first down.
Deegan Davies with the catch for the Falcons. Jackson Jensen looking to set up a screen pass again. That one is read very well by Dallin Sweat. Driven back into the backfield. They got to let him up. No penalty. You got to not be stupid. Just let up. But it's hard. It's tough because you're a guy making a tackle.
And the guy didn't go down, so you keep going. And so this is going to add, that's going to add 15 yards from where they were going to mark him down. The hit first started, was it close to the line of scrimmage where Dallin hit him? So they're going to, are they going to just march it from the line of scrimmage anyway?
And Manti read that screen pass well. But right there, when you hear that whistle, but that's tough. I mean, Dallin.
Welcome back to KSL Sports Rewind Red Zone. I'm Kenzie Valentine giving my last scoreboard update of the night, starting with Skyridge at Lehigh. Skyridge is up 35-17 with 3 minutes left in the game. And Alta and Olympus are tied again, 21-21 with 2 minutes left in the game. Let's go to American Fork at Lone Peak. Lone Peak needs a first down to seal the upset.
Staffs is, I think American Fork took a few punches that maybe they weren't expecting, and we're going to see Lone Peak tentatively go for it. Maybe a little quick kick action. We'll see.
Staley going to throw it. Looks downfield, and it's caught! Oh my goodness! The Knights call game! It's Jaden Mayberry with the Moss, and thus clinching what will be a Lone Peak win!
What a play, what a throw, what a night here for Lone Peak homecoming as they clinch the first down, and in doing so, clinch a victory here, a much needed win in Region 3, and upset the American Fork Cavemen. Just an incredible game, incredible second half, JT. What a moment.
And the Knights take the field along with their students off the upset of the undefeated American Fork Cavemen. What a performance by Coach Brockbank and his squad. Bob Mulitalo gave it all he had. He can't even rush the field right now. What a win for this Lone Peak team. Everyone onto the field, fired up off the performance. The Cavemen couldn't quite get it done late, and Lone Peak wins it. Ryan, so many choices you could go for player of the game.
Well, what a way for JT Wistersill to have his last game on Rewind. Knights call game.
What a call. What a call from JT. What a win for Lone Peak. Here I am saying American Fork firmly the number 2 team in the state.
I want to hear it emphatically.
And I stand by it. But Lone Peak gets the best of it. Hey, sometimes, even the Warriors.
Yeah.
They went 72-10 or whatever it was. They still lost the finals. Sometimes the best team loses.
There's only one undefeated NFL team in the history.
Yeah, Tom Brady, he lost to that Giants team.
That he beat, yeah.
So, hey.
Well, I tell you, what a great gutty comeback for – well, even comeback. It was a comeback. They're down. Lone Peak was down. Their defense.
Down most of the game.
Hey, it's only fitting that Mayberry gets the game-clinching catch because he had multiple interceptions in this game.
My goodness, man. He's everywhere. He's such a special player that we don't talk about enough.
Yeah, Lone Peak, you see how big this goes. Well, speaking of big, 17 seconds left in the game. Alta inside the red zone. 2nd down and 10 for the Hawks. Gonna throw. No, gonna go quarterback draw. Numaitolo goes to the far sideline and out of bounds. It's gonna be 3rd down and maybe 2. No, we got a flag on the play. So refs are going to ref.
Holy cow, we've seen a lot of flags tonight. And I don't mean to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
these refs have interrupted everything at every play, nonstop, all night long, in every game.
It was only fitting that you interrupt me as they interrupt them.
Well, yeah, I mean, it felt on brand. If I could have thrown a flag, I would have, because we're used to seeing it today.
And really, all it does is make the game-winning field goal just a little bit longer. Just backed him up a touch.
No Moose Bingham for Alta right now.
No. Yeah, Vance
So that
isn't out there
5
to kick it.
yards, that 5 yards might be a big deal.
Yeah, Vance beat Jordan, and Vance beat PG for region championships for Les Hamilton after the senior and the sophomore or the junior got hurt.
With 12 seconds left, and I think Alta still has a timeout, they can get another quick play in, hurry and call a timeout, set up the field goal.
Kepa Nuamaitolu lined up in the shotgun. 3 receivers near side, 1 to the top of the screen. Back to throw, and Nuamaitolu rolls to his left, still looking, now fires underneath. Defender was there, and the ball incomplete. So 5 seconds to go. I'm going to guess Coach Teo going to run out the kicker.
It's a longer field goal than I expected it to be. Right now, ball's at the 27-yard line. Yeah, 44-yard field goal. That's not a chip shot.
It's not, and not only that, they've been haven't been able to keep the defense out of the backfield on Nuamaitolu. And now he's going to take a timeout. So 5 seconds left. They'll take a timeout there.
Decision time. I mean, this is not a gimme. I think he would have loved to get that 7-8 yards on that play, and then that makes that decision easy. But at a 44-yard field goal, that's no gimme. I mean, that's going to be that's right in that in-between area for a high school kicker. This isn't college, right? This isn't the NFL where 44 yards comes easy. This is a tough field goal at the high school level.
Hey, welcome in, Dusty Litster and Jeff Hansen. We'll get you back out there that final 5 seconds at Olympus. Let me ask you a question, Jeff, because we know some of the scores, and we'll get through a bunch of these. Bigger upset tonight. Lone Peak over American Fork or Weber over Syracuse?
Well, I think that the Lone Peak over American Fork is probably the bigger upset, but Weber over Syracuse has region championship implications there. Davis, there's no happier team in the state right now than Davis because of that Weber win over Syracuse.
October 12th is when that Syracuse-Davis game will take place. At the moment, it's for the region title and for all kinds of things and marbles. And we still have a plan. We've already agreed on it.
Yeah.
That we'll probably be there. Us and Dane will do a pregame show like we did to kick off the year to get you set for the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then do the game, the three of us.
Yeah.
I still plan on that.
Yeah. So I need a hot dog still.
Jeff still needs a hot dog.
We need hot dog cam.
The funny thing is, what can we make Kenzie do at that broadcast?
We got to
really
make her do something.
Oh, we have to do something, though.
It's my stomping grounds up there. So if nobody brings me a hot dog at that game, I'm going to be furious.
Never mind. We have another week. We're not going to do this now.
Oh.
I'll get another week before we go to the next thing.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
That was, I got
Sorry,
up for a
I got
minute.
all excited, but I'm a week ahead. I got people telling me I got to think about the 29th and who's not available, who's available. I'm trying to get my probables put together, so my bad. All right, here we go. Game-winning field goal coming up for Alta. It'll be a 44-yard field goal. Alta looking for the win. 5 seconds left in this one. Tied at 21 against Olympus. The snap is high. Kick is up. And I don't think it had a chance. I think they might have blocked it. The officials come out. And it is. It was blocked it into the end zone. So touchback. Well, that ends it. That's at the end of regulation. So we will go to overtime. Olympus and Alta tied at 21.
We expected that game to be tight, and here we are in overtime. Man, that penalty really came back to bite Alta right there.
It certainly did. All right, let's go through some scores, folks. As we've had I gave away two. The biggest shocker, well, one of the bigger shockers of the night. Weber goes into Syracuse. Syracuse was 5-1 on the year. Weber was 2-4 coming off of the loss to Davis. And not only that, all the turbulence within that program that's going on right now, with all the things that happened, we're not going to dive into that. But Syracuse jumped out 21-7. DJ Mays had 3 touchdowns in the first half, 2 in the first quarter, had 1 in the second quarter, and he did not score again as Weber comes from behind to win this game 27-26.
Big game for the Weber defense. Billy Plume does a great job with that defensive, on the defensive side of the ball. Their defensive coordinator up there at Weber and they really flexed their muscles in the second half to contain DJ Mays, who for my dollar is the best receiver in the state, not named Take Care, not named Jerome Miles, really not playing in Corner Canyon. They bottled him up in the second half and were able to come back, get the win.
And then the biggest upset of the night was the 2-4 Lone Peak Knights taking down American Fork at home. And we talk about offense. This was all about the defense. This defense, Matthias Nawahine with the game-winning 45-yard pick six. Remember last week, Lone Peak lost on a pick six. Lone Peak could have very well been in this game, coming into this game being 3-3.
Yeah.
But they had a pick six off of the back of a defender.
Right.
I mean, that was just crazy last week at PG. But they got it done. This defense, Ryan Denny, has been spectacular. This is feeling a lot like that Braden Seary Lone Peak state championship run they had against American Fork.
Well, you mentioned PG in that close game last week. We're not talking enough about Pleasant Grove because it seems like every week something happens in the state where you look back and go, well, wait, Pleasant Grove beat Lone Peak. Pleasant Grove's 7-0. Pleasant Grove just continues to win. They win tonight at home against Westlake 35-7. They just continue to take care of business out there in the Grove.
Yeah, nice win for Coach Walkenhorst and the Pleasant Grove Vikings getting to 7-0. I think it's the first time in a long time, if ever in a long time, for the Pleasant Grove Vikings. I'll go through that. How about Farmington gets off the mat, gets a 43-21 win over Layton. Congratulations to Dan Coates and the Phoenix getting the win. Get them moving in the right direction. Corner Canyon continues to do Corner Canyon things. 55-12 as they ran away from Riverton. We mentioned Brighton Brady had an 83-yard touchdown run. In this one, Isaac Wilson had 1, 2. He ran for 1, 3, 4 touchdowns and ran for 1. He did get one to Take Care. 25-yard touchdown pass to Take Care.
That was generous of him to give one to Take Care. I was beginning to wonder if Take Care was still playing. We haven't heard his name yet tonight, and yet here we are.
Well, Uncle Dusty takes care of that. You don't have to worry about that.
I want to go down south, just give an update. I mean, this one is about to go final. Last reported about 2.5 minutes left. Crimson Cliffs all over Stansbury. That's what we've come to expect. Steel Barbin 1, 2, and then I think he got taken out of the game. 3 touchdown passes, a touchdown run. And all over. Crimson Cliffs all over the Stallions, 62-20.
How about the Battle of Lehigh? This is only the second meeting in the history of Skyridge and Lehigh. And it was Devon Eka getting the first touchdown. Lehigh took the early lead 10-7. And then it was all Skyridge. The defense getting turnovers, and then the offense cashing them in. Trevin McClellan had a touchdown. Carter Sheffield had 2. Jackson Stevens found Jack Burke on a 22-yard pass as Skyridge gets a 35-17 win over Lehigh.
Well, we talked about this game in the opener. Skyridge, we said, hey, probably about a 10-point favorite if we were to do that. They cover that spread. They win by 17. Really an impressive win for Skyridge. On a day where American Fork takes over at number 2 in the rankings, Skyridge picks up probably the most impressive win out of those two teams against a tough Lehigh team.
Well, certainly. And then how about this one? This was our rewind game of the week. Bingham goes to Harriman. Bingham licking their wounds. It has not been good. They're down to their fourth string quarterback. In fact, what do they decide to do? We won't always just go with our quarterback. They put guys all over the place, and it paid big dividends. Here's the touchdowns. You had Blake Schaefer, a 76-yard pass from Carson Sudbury. You had Chase Swenson at a 90-yard kick return for a touchdown. We had an 80-yard Carson Sudbury run for a touchdown. And this offense produces 47 points as they beat Harriman 47-38.
Couldn't quite get to the 40-40 club.
Couldn't quite. But
it's tough to do.
Still the first time in this series history both teams scored 30-plus.
30-plus points. Kind of an interesting score. Copper Hills nearly finishes the comeback at Mountain Ridge. Mountain Ridge, they hold off. It's a 27-22 win for the Sentinels. Samisi Kinikini had 3 touchdown runs. But in the second half, I mean, this game was 24-7 at the half, and then Copper Hills scores 15 points in the third quarter and made this a dogfight, but Mountain Ridge holds off in the end.
Somewhere, Coach Jones and the minors saying, see? See? Like, it wasn't just us. As a Mountain Ridge, you thought would now be that running in for the second place in that region. Corner Canyon, Bingham still going to be coming up later on this season. Let's go to 5A scores. As you see on the screen right now, it is Olympus. Well, Alta's going to take the time out. as they were in overtime tied at 21. We saw the crazy finish, Brighton and East. I mean, Jeff, how about Jack Stevens gets knocked out of this game for Brighton, but this Brighton defense does a great job. Bubba Ellis found Nash Matheson for his second touchdown of the night, and then it was a goal line stand on the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, and look, controversial, yes. I mean, I don't know if he got in or not still to this to now. We've seen the replay several times. Coaches got to hold their composure a little bit better. Mm-hmm. That game was not over. You had East players that were throwing helmets, things like that, and coaches who were still, I get it, they were fired up. That was a big play, clearly in the game-deciding play, but really poor composure, and ultimately, I mean, there were still 12 seconds left on the clock. That game wasn't over. That's kind of disappointing to see.
Yeah, it's hard to,
it's tough. I get it, but it's tough.
It is tough, and it's one of those things, but congratulations to Brighton getting a hard-fought win. TIFU all over Cedar Valley. They continue to do things. How about a game that was closer than I thought it would be? Box Elder at Viewmont. And this was a game I was like, well, how much are we going to pay attention to it? Because Viewmont's been a tough year. Box Elder's been rolling. Box Elder wins this one 31-28, and it was a game-winning field goal. How about it? Ethan Barber, a 20-yard field goal to give the win as Dak Sumko and crew improved to 7-0 on the year. But it came down to the final seconds.
Yeah, big game from Viewmont. Viewmont has struggled. I mean, they with the loss, they fall to 2-5 on the year. So Box Elder, I mean, that's a dogfight. Good win, gritty win.
Final thoughts for you, Jeff, what we saw in Week 7?
Well, Lone Peak. I mean, the Lone Peak defensive line, when they play the way they did tonight, they can beat anybody in the state of Utah. I mean, I really believe that. They dominated that game. The American Fork offensive line had no answer. For Tahi, for Bot Mulitalo, there was no answer. And Lone Peak, they look great.
An absolutely crazy night. Congratulations to Lone Peak. Congratulations to Brighton on a big win. Congratulations to Weber. We got so many. You can find this game online. Olympus and Altas will take you through overtime, but we're up against the clock getting out for tonight. For Vince Francis, Kenzie Valentine, and Jeff Hansen, I'm Dusty Litster. Thanks for joining us and for watching KSL Sports Rewinds Friday Night Red Zone on KSLSports.com, the KSL Plus app, and on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We'll see you in Week 8. Look out for all of our videos on KSLSports.com.
Everyone